Beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida, and Fox Sports welcomes you to pole qualifying for next Sunday's Daytona 500. It is crystal clear, mid-70s blue skies, plenty of speed and optimism in the air.
Are you ready to go? Daytona 500 pole qualifying.
These cars are not bashful. They go fast, on fire. She's going to be fast, fast, fast. Can she go any faster?
Foot rarely comes off the throttle.
She's really, really fast.
We don't know what to expect. This is it. Today we'll know who the front row will be. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
That's a nice ride.
56 drivers begin the day sharing a common dream, and by sunset, one man will dominate the headlines and the websites. We welcome you to pole qualifying for the Daytona 500. Our Hollywood Hotel is trackside for another fun and fast season of NASCAR. We're glad you're with us on this Sunday afternoon, wherever you're watching, along with former champion crew chief Jeff Hammond. Darrell Waltrip and the gang will be along in a moment. Chris Myers, glad to see you. You wore your Valentine's Day shirt a little bit early.
Ready, I'm ready.
We kid because we care. Jeff Gordon is going to roll out first, followed by Casey Kane. You know, the usual suspects. We'll see Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. But let's talk a little bit about the qualifying here. This is really more than just establishing the front row today. It
is more about establishing the front row. But, and again, there's so many more stories that go along with it. But the talk of the weekend so far has to be the guy who is vying for that front row. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. That's right. Bill Elliott, the ageless one, looks like he may have a shot of sitting on the front row and definitely maybe have a shot at winning the pole. But guys like Tony Stewart, who will go out late in the practice round just like he will, Martin Truex Jr., a lot of guys right now are gunning for this guy. But 2 rounds, Bill Elliott's been the man to beat.
Last pole winner to actually win the 500, Dale Jarrett in 2000. But what about the guys who maybe in practice, when you saw them, you witnessed, who needs the most work today?
Well, I mean, believe it or not, the Roush Fenway cars have been struggling a little bit. Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, some of these guys here are not having the speed that they were looking for. Jeff Burton from RCR told me he's not expecting to qualify much better than 30th. But all of these guys are trying to get as good a time down as possible because they know how important it is to get a good pit selection, to get a good start as far as Thursday's 150s are concerned. And it's a really, good opportunity to kind of measure yourself against the rest of the field for the rest of the year, for the rest of these, restrictor plate races. So, a lot to be said in this first round of qualifying here at Daytona. It's not a throwaway by any means.
All right, and the weather perfect. This winter, for the first time, cars not allowed to test here at Daytona. So last night's Budweiser shootout for the 28-car field, even more important. It was the largest field, and it had an all-star feel as the manufacturer teams were introduced. We had a record for 23 lead changes and also a record for 8 cautions in the shootout. David Reagan causing this one. Joey Logano and Scott Speed were knocked out. The first segment was led, that's 25 laps, by Carl Edwards. Dale Earnhardt Jr. involved. Greg Biffle and Jeff Gordon get together on this one. Jr. led 23 laps in the race, but taken out later on lap 64, and another wreck that involved Biffle as well. And a green-white checker finish in overdrive. Kevin Harvick in the 29 car didn't lead until this final lap of winning the Budweiser shootout. So his last win other than an all-star race, the 2007 Daytona 500. Happy Harvick is smiling with our Krista Vogt.
Yeah, Chris, it wasn't just that he won, it was how he won. You were one of the first cars on pit road banging out sheet metal. You lost the draft. Are you still pinching yourself that you won that race?
Well, I knew our Shell Pennzoil Chevrolet was really good. We just, like you say, we got in trouble there early and had to fix the fenders, and then we got behind a little bit there at the end and got a caution. We're able to make up ground, but just really proud of all our guys for not giving up, and just a lot of fun in the race last night, so hopefully the weekend keeps going well.
All right, well, Kevin said after that he knew he had one shot to win the Bud Shootout. Now in a few minutes he's going to take his one shot to claim the Daytona 500 pole.
Thank you, Krista. Jimmy Johnson has marched for an unprecedented 4th championship, really beginning today. The 33-year-old Johnson, the man behind the wheel, with the man who invented the wheel, our own Dick Bergman. Dick?
Well done, Chris. You're off to a good start. Well, Jimmy's also looking for his second consecutive Daytona 500 pole. But this year, like last year, you've got this car tomorrow, this new car. And watching last night's Budweiser shootout, it just looks like these things are so difficult to drive. What role can you play today in trying to get this car on the pole?
You know, I think that the biggest thing is getting up through the gearbox and making sure that you hit your marks there. You know, on the lap, the cars are a little more difficult to drive now, but I don't think we deserve a lot of credit for what takes place today. It really does boil down to the crew chiefs and the crew members and the engine shops and the risks they're willing to take, not only, you know, for those components, but also through that room of doom and how hard they want to push push things through there. So, you know, we should have a good car. We've been fast down here the whole time. Last night, as you said, was extremely exciting. I'm not sure that the duels will be that way or the 500 at the start of it, but the end of it, I think last night showed what we're all willing to do for $250,000.
And the room of doom is the NASCAR inspection area, and that's where everybody pushes the envelope.
All right, thanks, Dick. Some great insight there from Jimmy to kind of set the tone. And the mega teams, you know, Hendrick, teams like that, they have their place here at Daytona. But the long shots, Jeff, their stories give us something else to root for. Crew Chief Tommy Baldwin with Ward Burton surprisingly won the 2002 Daytona 500. And our Steve Burns is here to see if Tommy has another ace up his sleeve. Steve?
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Tommy Baldwin, as you said, won the Daytona 500. Now, as a car owner, trying to go race to race and survive in a tough economy.
I mean, it's exciting. We started this program about 30 days ago, and to come here with a great group of guys and some good equipment and come right off the trailer pretty fast, we're excited about. You know, we threw everything at it to try to get in the show today, and you know, we know Scott's ready to do his thing today, and got through inspection all right, so we'll wait for another 5 hours or so until we go. We go dead last today, so the good news is we'll know exactly where we will be once we go. So I feel good about today. You know, there's a lot of unknowns. You don't know what anyone else had that was holding back. You know, they don't know what we had holding back. So got a lot of butterflies. I got more butterflies today than probably I've ever had in my whole life, but it's exciting.
Well, Scott Riggs, 5 full seasons in the Cup Series without a ride over the winter, some nervous days for you, but what does this opportunity mean for you, and what do you need to make of it?
Everything. You know, I talked to a lot of different opportunities of doing something else or sitting at home and waiting to see how things pan out, but after talking to Tommy a couple of times on the phone and hearing his passion, his desire about what he wanted to do and what he was trying to accomplish here with his own team, and after talking to him a little bit, I realized this is what I want to do. This is what I was made for, is to be the underdog, to be somewhere where out to prove myself. You know, somebody that's not, you know, not very flashy, not very loud, someone sort of reserved and modest, and to be able to be here and fight from the trenches with Tommy is everything.
Well, Chris, a moment ago, Tommy said, I'm going to race till I run out of money, then I'm going to show up again next week.
All right, thanks very much, Steve. As we look at the cars ready to roll, and again, Jeff Gordon out first, live from Daytona, pole qualifying, the front row, and time yourself in. Jeff, some of those other guys that the pressure is on, that they have to run well here to get into the Great American Race.
Well, we've already mentioned one of them, Bill Elliott. He's got to qualify his way in. The Wood brothers do not have the luxury of being in the top 35, so they've got to put out a really fast time and or either get in on Thursday's duel. You look at A.J. Allmendinger driving for Richard Petty Motorsports. He's another car that's got to have a good qualifying effort. Regan Smith, last year's Rookie of the Year, different ride this year, trying to race his way in and get a good qualifying lap down. So there's a lot of pressure right now, Steve, on a lot of teams. As a matter of fact, like there's 22 teams out there that are going for this field. I mean, and some of the guys are going to wind up going home. So somebody's going to be heartbroken because of their effort, and they really have got to be ready today. And getting through the room of doom, everything you can throw at this thing is so important, because details is what's going to get you into this race.
Yeah, Joey Logano, the 18-year-old rookie, trying to be the youngest to ever start the Daytona 500. Had a rough ride in the Budweiser shootout. Let's check in with Mike and Darrell and Larry, getting ready to call the pole qualifying today for us. What's going on, guys?
Hi, Chris, and thank you. At the end of qualifying, we'll know who 39 of the 43 starters in the Daytona 500 will be. We will only know where the fastest 2 will start. How important is that? 1/3 of all the Daytona 500s run have been won from the front row. 9 times from the pole, 7 times from the outside pole. So this session's important for everybody.
It is, and here's what I always tell the crew. I don't know but one way to hold it wide open. And so there ain't a whole lot I can do for you boys. So whatever y'all going to give me, you know, whatever the car's got, you're going to have to do it in the garage area, because once it hits the racetrack, I think Jimmy Johnson said it best. Catch those gears just right, hit your marks, hope for the best.
That's all you can do. So the pressure really is on the teams.
Well, it is, and I think that's exactly what Jimmy Johnson said. You know, it's how hard the guys in the engine shop, how hard they've worked with this restrictor plate engine, how the guys have worked in the fab shop with the bodies. But the one thing that I will say, just to back up what Jeff Hammond was talking about, is the fact that, yeah, there's a lot of tension about who's going to get this pole for the 51st annual Daytona 500, but there's a lot more tension about those 3 cars that when this session is over, they know they will race next Sunday. They don't know where they'll start, but they know they're going to race. And I think the biggest thing with this new car, qualifying is going to be so tight. Talking to some of those crew chiefs like Tommy Baldwin, they know 1/10 of a second could make that difference.
That could be huge. Now, all of those cars will go at the end of the session. First, we'll see the 35 drivers who are already locked into the field due to 2008 Car Owner Championship points. Then, 21 cars will be racing for the 8 remaining spots, and the grid will be filled by the first 2 finishers in each Daytona dual race on Thursday. Then the next 3 fastest qualifying times from today, and the past champions provisional if needed. If not, it'll be the 4th fastest qualifying time from today. We'll keep you up to date on all of this as we go through the afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Daytona Beach. It is warm and sunny. A few big clouds starting to drift in the area of the Speedway, but right now over the track, it's a cloudless sky as Jeff Gordon, DuPont Chevrolet, is the first driver to take time.
And it's kind of interesting. Where did he draw for the Bud Shootout? Last. Where did he draw to qualify today? First. So, I mean, you know, his drawing is, he's improved, I think, his drawing skills anyway.
Gordon was 22nd in practice for pole runs. This will be his 17th Daytona 500.
Now, you heard us talking about this carburetor restrictor plate that pulls the horsepower back, keeps these cars qualifying somewhere in the high 180s, and because of that, it takes a while to get these cars wound up. That's the reason on the first lap you saw Jeff Gordon pretty much running right up against the wall, the longest distance around this 2.5-mile racetrack. But now that we're on the money lap, everybody will run quicker on their second lap. You see he drops right to the bottom, the shortest distance around this track.
Just think about when you're a kid, you tie a rock on a string. And, you know, you get her way out there and get her wound up, and then you could kind of pull her in and really make some time with it. So that's what you try to do with these cars.
Gordon has won more restrictor plate races than anyone else in this field. 12. 48.025 seconds, 187.4 miles per hour.
I think that just goes up to show you how much these guys even step it up and really push the envelope from practice yesterday. He ran a 48.35, and honestly, other than things they do to the car, there's no reason you should be faster today, because actually it's a little bit warmer today.
Warmer, and I'll tell you, got a pretty significant headwind down the back straightaway too. Of course, gear ratio, I'm sure they looked at that. The crew chiefs did, probably went to a little lower gear for qualifying, but that's a nice lap right there.
The 2 things we'll pay the closest attention to there is the track temperature, and like Daryl's saying, that wind. That will make more of a difference than the temperature going up or coming down.
And I know we say this every year we come here, but if you just want to know how windy it is, just look at the American flag or any of the flags out there in the infield, and that gives you a pretty good idea where the wind's coming from and how hard it's blowing.
Casey Kane, 14th in points last year with 2 victories. Finished 7th in the Daytona 500 both of the last 2 years. This will be his 6th start in the Great American Race. But in practice, his Budweiser car was only able to manage 39th fastest yesterday. Last year he won the pole at Pocono in June and Infineon Raceway on the road course. He won that race at Pocono and also won the May race at Charlotte.
He kind of got on a roll there in the month of May. It looked like this team was going to really, win a lot of races, but then, man, it just all fell apart in a hurry. Came together quickly, went away quicker.
He's going to run the same groove that Jeff Gordon ran on his first lap, right against the wall. Now, Jeff's first lap was a 48.55, and if you run right against the wall, that's about what you should be able to pick up from lap 1 to lap 2, is about 4 to 5 tenths. Now, if you run lower on that first lap, and I think we'll see some guys try that strategy, you just won't pick up quite as much.
You know, the thing that I've noticed, and I think if I were qualifying right now, this is what I do. When I ran my second lap, not only would I run right around the bottom in the corner, I'd run right around the bottom down the straightaway.
Shortest distance.
Everywhere I could, I'd make it as short as I possibly could.
Not a very good first lap. He wasn't even in 48s, 49.02, so he's right at a half a second slower than Jeff Gordon was on Jeff's first lap.
There you go. Just stay right down there. Not going to probably make a lot of difference, but it'll make a little bit.
You see the difference on our tracker between his lap and that of Jeff Gordon.
Now, I want to say this. This is a Dodge. We saw this 1 year ago. There were no Dodges that ran fast on qualifying day. I think we only had one Dodge in the top 20, and that was Patrick Carpentier that actually had to qualify on time. But what I'll say, these guys did a good job. We almost saw this in the Budweiser shootout last night, even with Casey Kane. They got their cars driving good for the race. They just can't cut that fast qualifying lap.
48.513, that's half a second behind Jeff Gordon. Casey Kane is second of 2. Let's check with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, not even an early draw could take the big smile off Mark Martin's face. You are so jacked up about the 2009 season. I haven't seen you this happy in such a long time.
It's just, you know, it's incredible to be a part of Hendrick Motorsports, and Alan and this whole Kellogg's CarQuest team, just fantastic. They've rubbed on this car so much, and it's going to be good. I look forward to getting our time in here, but I really look forward to getting it out in the draft. And, you know, we missed out on that on Friday and Saturday, so I feel like we're starting a little behind, but we're ready to make up for lost time once we get on the track Wednesday.
All right, he was on the outside pole for the July race about 6 months ago. To Chris DeVoe.
Thanks, Matt. Jeff Gordon down here talking to teammate Jimmy Johnson. Jeff, you sounded ecstatic on the radio, talking about how proud you are of your guys. Tell us about why.
Well, that was a big pickup. You know, we weren't as good as we wanted to be yesterday, and I still don't know where we're going to end up. We'll see what, you know, these guys do, how much they pick up. But with the wind blowing like it is, you know, going through inspection, getting out there, being the first car out, and to be able to pick up about 2.5 tenths from yesterday, no, 3 tenths almost. Very, very happy with that lap.
All right, Mike even said he doesn't care how much these guys pick up. He is happy.
Very good. Thanks, Krista. David Stremme is the new driver of the number 12 for Penske. Roy McCauley is his crew chief. They were 40th in practice with their Dodge. Stremme has 75 starts in the Sprint Cup Series, 4 at Daytona, and finished just outside the top 10 in last year's Nationwide Series standings.
Talking about Casey Kane, he did pick up from practice. He picked up about a 10th.
And you know, we've had no rule changes that should really affect the speed of these race cars since 1 year ago. Jeff Gordon's speed will not stand up for the pole. I can promise you that. But already Jeff Gordon is faster than what Jimmy Johnson ran a year ago when he sat on the pole at a 48.10.
I believe the only substantive change we've had is that the Dodge has a new nose piece for 2009. Is that about the only difference?
And the Ford. And the Ford and the Dodge.
But it's so minor. They claim it's a styling change more than it is an aero change.
I talked to David Hyder this morning, Bill Elliott's crew chief, and he said the good thing about the nose, it has a little more front downforce, puts more pressure on the front tires in the corner, and it didn't affect the aero drag, didn't hurt the drag, which is a beautiful thing for straightaway speed.
Now, Bill Elliott is the all-time track record holder at Daytona, and he was fastest in yesterday's practice. Dick Berggren.
Yeah, both of yesterday's practices, Mike, and so I asked Len Wood and Eddie Wood, who are the guys that are keeping an eye on this car, where the speed came from. And they pointed to 2 different directions. One was David Hyder. They said this crew chief is obsessive compulsive. He just looks at absolutely everything and goes over every detail. But the fit and finish of this car, they said, is incredibly important. And when you look at it, when you look at how close the trunk fits the fenders, when you look at the nose of the car, when you look at the curvatures where the bumper fits in and so forth, this car is absolutely beautiful. This is the sort of thing, Mike, that you might see at Barrett-Jackson as a hot rod that has been thoroughly massaged. It is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment.
What did Jeff Hammond talk about at the top of the show? Details. Nobody has a big chunk anymore. It's those little bitty things.
And let me tell you the other thing. With no testing, you had more time to massage on your Daytona car than ever before. And I think that's a plus.
David Stremme clocked in at 48.54, third of 3. Bobby Labonte has a new ride for 2009. Last year, Labonte was under contract to Petty Enterprises for what looked to be a long-term deal. But that iteration of Petty Enterprises had trouble finding sponsorship. They released him from that obligation, and he signed on with Hall of Fame Racing, the number 96, which took their number and their operation to Yates Racing, and has the points from car number 28 that the Yates ran in 2008. So that's why Bobby Labonte is locked into the field. Let's see how he fares in the Ford.
I would not be surprised if he's not pretty fast.
Well, his crew chief is Todd Parrott.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised.
and Todd Parrott is well known for having fast race cars at Daytona and Talladega. Bobby was second quickest in the first practice yesterday, and he was 7th quickest in that final practice.
Now, Labonte, like Jeff Gordon and many other drivers, they are past champions, but because they are driving for cars using top 35 car owner positions from last year, they're locked into the field, won't need to take advantage of the champions provisional.
Now, his first lap is faster than Jeff Gordon's first lap. And in fact, his first lap puts him second right now in front of Casey Kane and David Stremme.
Exactly, and I think this will be a pretty good second lap.
Bobby Labonte has 26 poles in his career.
I told Bobby, I saw him earlier yesterday, and I said, what do you think about your car? He said, I'm ecstatic. He said, to be in a Yates car at Daytona to start the year off, he said, I'm pretty happy about that.
This particular car right here, the last time we were at a restrictor plate racetrack was Talladega in the fall of last year, and Travis Quapple actually sat on the pole at Talladega, the other racetrack that we run this carburetor restrictor plate.
Labonte comes to the checkered flag, see if he can displace Jeff Gordon from the pole. No, by 5/100ths of a second.
Oh my.
Labonte stands second to Jeff Gordon.
Just did not pick up as much on that second lap as Jeff picked up on his second lap.
Must have hit an air pocket over there somewhere.
So the Ask.com Fusion right now stands second. Today's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV.
And you know, all it takes is just one little change of wind gust down the back straightaway or going off into 3. Just a little bit, and it can make a difference in a half a tenth or a tenth.
That's what makes qualifying so tense, is you know as a crew chief, you know as a driver, when you leave pit road down there, crew chiefs are looking at the sky, wondering, you know, what's the temperature, what's the wind speed, you know, there's so many things that go through your mind to keep you from getting or helping you to get a good lap.
Worrying about all the things you can't control.
Do anything about it. And you'll hear them when it's over. Well, the wind picked up when we went. Oh, well, the sun came out, or, you know, whatever.
Kurt Busch is a past series champion. He finished second in last year's Daytona 500 to his then teammate, Ryan Newman. Last year qualified 34th on time. Actually, he has 3 second place finishes in the Daytona 500, still looking for his first restrictor plate win. Last year started 43rd with that champions provisional and finished second. Now in the final practice, his Miller Lite Dodge was 46th. In fact, the only Dodge that could see the front of the practice chart was Elliott Sadler, who was 18th fastest.
Yeah, Kurt Busch and his 2 cars seemingly didn't mind qualifying at the back of the field here last year, because even in the July race, they actually started dead last with a backup car and still finished 4th. You can just see how much these cars move around. Of course, we really saw cars moving around last night at the Budweiser shootout. But this racetrack has so many dips and bumps in it. Mainly they're dips.
Yeah.
It just makes the car continuously to move around.
That car literally, it oscillates. It's wop, 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 wop. And when they're riding on the bump stops the way they do, that's what makes them get up in the air and then bounce, up in the air and bounce.
49.07. That first lap is about 4/100ths slower than what his teammate David Stremme ran.
But the Dodges that have gone so far, they all look about the same. You know, first lap's pretty close, and the O's, 49 O's, picks up to maybe a 50-something.
And to follow up on what Darrell just mentioned about these bump stops, I actually had a fan in the fan zone this morning ask me, if it makes the cars drive so bad, why do they do it? But yeah, it makes the car drive bad, it makes the car look bad and ride bad, but it's faster that way because you're just down there like you're on solid stobs, just tied down to the ground.
Well, aero overcomes everything. You got a great big piece of equipment going through the air, and if you can do anything to make the air go over it or around it better, it's going to go faster.
The good news for Kurt Busch is he was within 3/1000ths of his teammates' time. The bad news is they're not very fast.
No,
well, look, Kane is a 51 and Stremme's a 54, and so is Kurt Busch. So they're right there. All the Dodges so far, same speed.
Here's Krista with Bobby Labonte, who is second fastest.
And the first thing Bobby Labonte said to his team is, "I'm sorry. Should that have been a pole run?" Is that why you were saying that?
Just, they put a lot of effort into it, a lot of hard work, and really just wish we could have been just a little faster, of course, and so that just sorry for that. We just couldn't do no better, but everybody did a great job, and to come from where these guys were a few weeks ago, obviously, and I knew that they would have a fast race car here, and they still do, and so we'll just see where it ends up, and we'll practice on Wednesday, race a lot on Thursday, practice on Friday and Saturday, race again on Sunday. So still got a great week in front of us.
All right, Mike, he has said being with this Ask.com team has given him a new lease on life.
Good run for Bobby Labonte. Now here's Brian Vickers in a Toyota. Finished 7th in 2006 in the 500. And last year qualified 16th. He was 25th fastest in practice. Matt?
Mike, Tampa, Florida native. Eric Almirola, he's in line. One of the early draws getting ready to go out to qualify. So the big question is, you didn't get a lot of sleep last night because of Dirks Bentley, but how many people do you have coming in over this next week, and have you lost sleep trying to get tickets for them all?
Yeah, got quite a few. It's always special for me to come back to Daytona. Hell, this is my first time trying to make the Daytona 500 or going to race the Daytona 500, so it means a lot to my family. We grew up 2 hours away in Tampa, Florida, so to come here, I came here many a times to watch the Daytona 500 and the Firecracker 400, so to come back here and be on the other side of the fence, it's pretty cool.
Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Matt. Brian Vickers, first lap, 48.95. And that is the third fastest first lap that we've seen so far. He was the 2003 Nationwide Series champion and raced his way into the 500 last year in the dual races that we'll see Thursday on Speed.
I don't reckon a driver could do an interview if he tied his hands behind his back. Because he wouldn't be able to chug his Coke when he got finished.
I'd say if you tied his hands behind his back or hit his sunglasses, you'd be in trouble.
I don't care who it is up now. I think the crew chiefs, they all walk around with one in their pocket, I reckon.
Well, here's Brian Vickers trying to sneak up onto the front row next to Jeff Gordon.
He's going to come up a little bit short. He's going to be third quickest at a 48.42, actually 4/10 behind Jeff Gordon.
Coming up, John Andretti, Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, and Robbie Gordon.
Pole qualifying from Daytona. NASCAR on Fox in the Great American Race a week from today as we look at John Andretti. Won his first race here at Daytona.
Yes, he did. A July 4th race driving for Cale Yarborough.
And finishing up his second lap. So far, Jeff Gordon, who went out first, the time to beat. So he looks like he'd be fourth
Quickest
on the list.
Not a bad lap there for John.
As we welcome you outside the Hollywood Hotel at the Ford Cutaway Car here in Daytona. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, back up to the guys in a moment. This, of course, a restrictor plate race that restricts horsepower. Does it restrict anything else?
Yeah, hopefully your bad jokes.
Silly questions. All right, but the theme has been details that has been mentioned and finding speed, the little ways to do that. And Jeff has set some things up. For example, qualifying oil, different from race oil.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's a lot less viscosity in it. I mean, lighter weight oil so they can make more horsepower. They'll drop the levels, but they get it really hot for qualifying. Very much a special and very much a needed tool for speed. Obviously, the tape everything up underneath on the front grille, reduce the drag, increase the speed. Another thing, we'll take and pull the brake pads back. The rotor goes through here. You pull the brake pads back in this caliper, again, to keep the rotating weight and keep the drag down away from that.
Brake caliper,
and something as simple, Chris, believe it or not, as getting the car clean. You see all these wax formulas here for the tires, the car, and everything. Taking a good rag, getting the car slicked down. I mean, everything you do is to try to make the car.
How much speed can this actually?
I mean, we're talking about a thousandths here, maybe a thousandths here, a tenth here, and it all adds up because the difference between making the Daytona 500 could wind up being 1/1000th of a second. Go or go home, and all these things are so important.
All right, and the restrictor plate, obviously Larry wanted to see this.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I wanted to ask Jeff, is that tape, how strong is that tape? Because I
wanted... You know what, Chris, I'm going to show you exactly how
maybe
strong
I should
this
not
tape
have asked.
is right here.
I don't
it's
think.
right here.
I don't think, all right.
It's right here. This is 200 mile an hour tape.
Chris, while he's taping your mouth up, hold the plate up for me.
And the thing is right now, folks, you can see this is the best way to slow down a Chris Myers.
But one thing I want to point out is the holes in that restrictor plate. If you look at the holes underneath the carburetor itself, they're about half the size.
Right.
Those holes in the restrictor plate are half the size. They're 31/32 of an inch. For every 64th of an inch that they change those holes, it's about 12 to 14 horsepower. These engines unrestricted make over 800 horsepower. With that plate underneath the carburetor, it pulls it back to about 480 horsepower.
I don't think the tape is strong enough.
Let's see here.
Jeez.
I love it.
How much do we owe Jeff for that?
I don't know, but I think there's a little kid at home right now running around trying to find a yardstick that's got 30 seconds on it. So he can how many 30 seconds was that, Dad?
How about Mark
31,
Martin?
30 seconds.
31.
Keep an eye on Mark Martin here, driving for Rick Hendrick. The Kellogg's CarQuest car. He is right now quicker than Jeff Gordon's present pole speed. Mark Martin will be in his 25th Daytona 500. Will he start it from the front row?
He's going to be in the 47. Running into 47s, yeah, exactly.
He'll be there. It's a 47.90 something.
47.91. Almost 188 miles per hour.
He's never won a points race at Daytona, but Mark Martin could be starting this one at the front.
Oh, he's going to be a happy boy.
Yes, he will.
He'll get out and probably kiss old Tony.
That time right there is flirting with what Bill Elliott ran in that final practice yesterday. And, of course, Bill Elliott was the fastest.
First now. Roger. Awesome, man. Jeez, thank you guys so much.
By a full 1/10 of a second, Mark Martin is fastest right now. And next up is another of the Hendrick cars, the season champion of the last 3 years of Sprint Cup racing, Jimmy Johnson from El Cajon, California. 7 victories last year, 3rd on the list. Finished in the top 10 in 10 of the last 12 races and tied Cale Yarborough's mark, winning a 3rd consecutive Sprint Cup championship.
I love that's what Cale told him at the banquet. All you've done, boys, tied me.
This will be Johnson's 8th Daytona 500. He won it in 2006 and started on the pole for the 500 in 2002 and last year.
And you know, Mike, talking about Cale, I don't believe there was ever a period of time down here when somebody had this place figured out any better than Cale Yarborough did. And that last lap slingshot move he put on pretty much everybody that he got around. He was going to do it to Donnie in '79, didn't quite work out, but he came back a number of other times and did it and made it stick.
His teammates right now are on the front row. Jeff Gordon's first lap was a 48.55. Mark Martin was a 48.35. And Mike, you know, you mentioned he won the 500 in 2006. In his 7 Daytona 500 starts, he's only qualified outside the top 10 one time.
I think sounds pretty smooth to me. That's
First
a little,
lap
little
is
quicker.
the second fastest first lap we've seen, just 4/100ths off of Mark Martin's first lap.
Actually, in practice, he and Mark were similar in times, 07 to a 17, about a 10th difference. So Chad's usually got a little something left. See what he does here.
Right now, he lacks of 1/100th of a second of snatching the pole from his teammate. Mark Martin, now they're dead even for first.
You know, yesterday we were seeing about a max 8,200 down the back without this big headwind. Today, we're seeing on up around 8,400. So that tells you how much they've tuned these bad boys up.
I'm going to tell you what, Darrell, that thing lost little to no RPM in the middle of the corner.
Probably
down there
least of anybody. It didn't bounce and jump all over the place.
Second quickest for Jimmy Johnson, 47.94, a little more than 2/100ths of a second off of Mark Martin's speed.
But you know what? He ran 4/100 slower on lap 1, 3/100 slower on lap 2.
Right now, Mark Martin is the fastest man in Daytona. Coming up, Robbie Gordon, Juan Montoya, and Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, go.
Welcome back to Daytona. Pole qualifying for next Sunday's Daytona 500 on Fox. Right now, Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon, 3 Hendrick Motorsports teammates, have the first 3 spots. Here is Robbie Gordon. Last night you saw him in a different make of car. He's going to run Toyota for the season. And his lap of 48.515, his second lap, will stand as 8th fastest of the 10 drivers so far. Krista?
Well, Mark Martin has said coming into this race he is more ready than any other driver in the field. Are you now happier than any driver in the field, at least for now?
I've been happy, but I'm very happy to have that part of it done, and I can't wait to get out on the racetrack and do some drafting. You know, it felt like everybody else, you know, has already been doing that for the shootout, and we had to sit and watch, and I can't wait to get this Kellogg's CarQuest Chevy out there in the draft. It's so fast, and the race team, Alan and everybody on this race team is so charged up, and it's just so fun to go to work every day, and I'm glad it's just about getting ready to start.
Great run. Thanks, Mark. Steve Burns?
Well, Krista, we heard from Scott Riggs and owner Tommy Baldwin. They have no guarantee of making this Daytona 500. Tommy told me that he hopes to have 8 full-time employees within a few weeks. But this effort, this car has largely been built by volunteer mechanics who have been laid off from other teams. And you see that hood, plain white, no sponsorship.
It's a great story, Steve. The contraction in the economy certainly has hit racing hard. An estimated 1,000 to 2,000 jobs in the racing industry lost between last season and the start of this season up in the Iredell Cabarrus County area north of Charlotte, North Carolina. And many of those folks banded together, put teams together like Tom Baldwin did, and there are 15 single car teams entered for this Daytona 500. A lot of stories like Tommy Baldwin's.
Yeah, well, you know, in bad times there's opportunity, and these guys are taking advantage. If you don't have a job and somebody's got enough money to buy a car and put a little something together to come down here with us, pays $250 grand to start this bad boy, and I bet you if he makes that race next Sunday, that 36 will have something on the hood by then, and that's what he's gambling.
Absolutely. Juan Pablo Montoya still with Ganassi Racing, which is now Earnhardt Ganassi Racing, and the Target sponsorship moves over onto his number 42 for this year. And look at the ticker move to first.
I'm going to tell you what, that is a pretty sporty first lap, 48.42, and this is a car that didn't show a lot of muscle yesterday in practice, but this is part of that DEI Chip Ganassi with Felix Sabates merger. And these cars, especially the DEI cars, the end of last year, here in July, Talladega in October, showed a lot of muscle. And if you look at that tracker right there, he's showing the muscle all the way down into turn 3.
She's pegged. Uh-oh. He bounced a little bit there in the middle of 1 and 2, or 3 and 4, I'm sorry. And that's just like hitting the brakes. When that thing bounces up and down and it hits the track, it's like tapping the brake.
The Ganassi cars had been Dodges. They're now Chevrolet, and Montoya breaks the Hendrick stranglehold on the front 3. He is second with a 47.93.
But we talked about how tight it was going to be. Mark Martin's a 47.91, Jimmy Johnson's a 47.94, and Montoya landed right in the middle of them at a 93.
It was pretty tight. Tighter than yesterday.
There's the way they stand so far. Bobby Luani, the first Ford behind the 4 Chevys there.
They haven't told him what he run yet. Once they tell him what he run, he said, well, it wasn't that bad.
Carl Edwards, last season's runner-up. Having a word with Casey Mears. Out in the qualifying line. The top 35 in owner points from 2008 will qualify first, and then all of the drivers who must either time or race their way into the field will go at the end of qualifying. Kevin Harvick, a winner last night in the Budweiser Shootout, the 2007 Daytona 500 winner. Last year had a top 10 finish in 13 of the last 16 events, but was the only driver without a victory to finish in the top 5 of the Sprint Cup standings. He was 4th, tying his best career season.
Had a big night last night. He only led 1 lap, but it was the most important lap. And in fact, that pass he made on Jamie McMurray going down the backstretch, that was a $100,000 pass because he made $200,000. McMurray made $100,000.
One thing that I've said, and I know Richard Childress, I've heard him agree, and I've heard Jeff Burton say the same thing. These cars, the Childress cars, they just need to be able to go faster. They've got great race cars, they got great drivers, but if they have a problem, it's just in speed alone. They seem to race great. I mean, I saw Kevin at the end of last year, Bristol. He worked his way right up there, got a top 5 finish. A couple other races where he just drove the wheels off of him, got him a good top 5 finish, but didn't have what it took to win.
Well, and Jeff Hammond talked about Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick's teammate, at the top of the show, that Jeff didn't feel like he was going to be able to run fast. I think these cars will race good. I don't know if we know what Kevin Harvick can run. His first lap is 49.54, so obviously not very fast. This car only made 1 run in the 2 practice sessions yesterday.
And I don't think they're worried about it, Larry. Now, in 2002, the Childress cars were bad fast at Daytona. Harvick qualified on the outside pole. But in 2007, when he won the 500, he started back at 34.
I mean, you would think if you look at a car just ran the first lap of 49.54, which is the slowest first lap of anybody.
By half a second.
And you'd say, how in the world is he going to keep up? That's the magic of the draft, and that's the magic of the driver being able to work the draft.
And it all went Kevin Harvick's way last night, $200,000 worth. Now, he's going to probably be the slowest of 12 at 49.01. Now, that's half a second off Kurt Busch, who is 11th fastest.
And again,
the alternator's not working. It's only got 11.5 volts.
It's probably not hooked up, buddy. Probably got the belt off it, but just maybe. I'm not sure, but could be. Anyway, I was going to say this about that. Last night, he lost the draft one time and fell out, and he couldn't keep up. I think he did it twice, actually. So it just shows you how important the draft is. When you have a car that's not as fast as some of the other guys, you got to have that draft to be able to hang in there.
We're qualifying for next Sunday's Daytona 500. Drop the green flag on another intense and thrilling season of NASCAR on Fox with the 51st running of the Great American Race. It's only on Fox Sports in high definition, and it all begins next Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Krista.
Juan Montoya teamed back up with Target, one of his sponsors from his open wheel days. Talk about your run there.
Well, you know, I think everybody, you know, in Hurricane has done an amazing job. You know, this Target Chevy, it's been pretty good. I was a little disappointed. I think we had a little bit more, to tell you the truth. You know, we didn't run as fast as we wanted to, but, you know, second place so far is not bad.
All right, thanks, Juan.
Well, the ex-Formula One ace has certainly found a home here in NASCAR, and right now he sits on the outside pole for the 500.
And he ended the season strong. He didn't get the finishes. He got wrecked at Texas. He got wrecked a couple of times when he had a top 5 car. But I saw a big improvement in that team when Brian Patty stepped in as a crew chief.
And I think this is a car we're going to have to watch closely. This is a teammate of Juan Pablo Montoya, Eric Almirola in the 8 car, and he was 9th quickest in that final practice yesterday.
The Tampa native qualified 3rd at Talladega last October. He's trying to make his first Cup race at Daytona.
If you look right now, going off into turn 3, on his first lap, he's flirting with being about 6th quickest. So this is going to be a pretty substantial first lap.
But I noticed him in 1 and 2 and a little bit in 3 and 4. He's not all the way out against the wall. He's a lane or so off, so he might have a little better first. He may not pick up as much as some of the other guys have.
48-28, that by far is the best first lap, but I think it's a product of what you just said. He was not rim riding.
He didn't quite get it all the way up there like some of the guys have. I thought maybe he was trying to miss some of the bumps, possibly.
He's looking pretty good about halfway down the back straightaway. You can see it right there. Now his target right now is Mark Martin at a 47.919. And he's just right there on top of it.
Let's see when he goes through 3 and 4 here. We've seen a bunch of cars start to bounce, and it's really right there. It really slows them down. Like I said, it's just like hitting the brake when the car bounces up and down and hits the track.
Yeah, send him about half a groove up the racetrack there.
Not only does it make the car jump up and down, hit the track, but you got a crank wheel in it.
And that will drop Almirola to 4th. 47.96, 2/100ths off Jimmy Johnson.
See, he was there all the way until he hit those bumps in 3 and 4, and I think that's the second time I've seen that. I think same thing happened to Montoya.
So the top 4 cars separated by only a 1/2 of a second.
Wow.
That's a good run for Eric, though.
Greg Biffle, who had such a strong finish to 2008, coming out for Roush Fenway Racing in the 3M Ford. He won the first 2 races of the chase to the Sprint Cup last fall and was in the top 12 all season long, winding up 3rd in the final Sprint Cup standings.
I think Mike, he'll just be happy to be on the track by himself today. After last night, I mean, he got knocked around like a ping pong ball last night. I think he spun out like what, 3 or 4 times.
He was a part of 3 or 4 cautions,
and not of his own making.
He was the pinball.
He was the pinball wizard.
Greg got his very first career win here in July of 2003. This is only our 2nd Ford to go out and qualify. The only Ford that's completed the qualifying run, Bobby Labonte, in that 96 car, is 6th right now.
Greg Biffle qualified on the pole here in 2004 and picked up a big win in the July race here at Daytona in 2003 in his rookie season. That's his first of 14 career victories.
I think if this team right here can get out of the box good this year in 2009, when you look at how they finished up 2008, this certainly is a car I think we have to keep on our radar for a possible championship contender this year. There you see car owner Jack Roush, his first of 5 cars to qualify today.
And if you're wondering, doesn't NASCAR have a cap in place where you can only own 4 teams? They do, but Roush's existing sponsor agreements were grandfathered in, and that exemption expires at the end of this year, so he'll have to contract to 4 teams. First lap for the Biff, 48.65.
He looks like he's possibly going to land right there somewhere close to the other Ford around Bobby Labonte at 6th right now.
Biffle had 2 poles last year at Darlington and the May race at Lowe's Motor Speedway to go with his 2 victories. Checkered flag for Biffle, and he'll slot 7th.
All right, man. Water and oil. Nice job.
48.15, right behind Bobby Labonte. Coming up, rookie Scott Speed, Reed Sorensen, Carl Edwards, and Casey Mears.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. By the Home Depot, proud sponsor of Joey Logano and the number 20 team. By FedEx Racing, we understand every day is race day. And by the all-new 09 F-150. It's not just a new truck, it's a new F-150. Live action, and Scott Speed, the rookie, Mark Martin, pole sitter for the moment, as Chevys have dominated early. By the way, if Martin holds on, the oldest Daytona 500 pole sitter, Dale Jarrett, at age 48, Martin would be that at age 50.
Yeah, but right now we're watching Scott Speed trying to get into his, he's going to be entering his first Daytona 500, a guy who's run Formula One, basically raced all over the world, and he pretty much had baptism under fire this week. Got caught up in a practice crash for the Budweiser shootout early in the week, repaired the car, but then on lap 4 got caught up in another one, so he didn't get quite the seat time he was looking for, Chris, but not a bad lap right there for him. He winds up being 8th quickest, and, you know, be interested to watch and see how this young man kind of develops. He's got a very good crew chief in Jimmy Elledge, so he's got a veterinary that can kind of give him the information he needs. Great teammate Brian Vickers, so it'd be interesting to see how this young man kind of plays out. Should be a great rookie battle between he and Joey Logano.
Yeah, coming up we have Reed Sorensen, Carl Edwards. Carl with 9 wins last year. But what about, we saw Logano, a rookie and no real experience in racing competitively in Daytona.
Well, I mean, both these guys, Chris, I mean, it's going to take time. And this is where you've got to go and look at the team that's around both of these young drivers, and particularly, you know, the 82 car Scott Speed. These guys have got to get them in a comfortable car so they can run, you know, upcoming Thursday during the 150s, a great, you know, opportunity to learn. And that's what it's all about. If you can learn and take that and apply it to next Sunday, that's what's going to be important. But right now we got Reed Sorensen. He's still a young man, but a veteran, believe it or not, at the age of 23. Getting ready to take the green right here, driving for Richard Petty Motorsports. First time out in the 43 car here at Daytona, trying to qualify for the 500.
Yeah, and his best Daytona 500 finish was 5th, which was last year, and his best Sprint Cup finish overall, Atlanta, where he finished 3rd back in 2007.
Again, we're watching him. He's taking the high line around the racetrack, getting his car up to speed, and it'll be interesting to see how it's going to kind of play out, because right now Casey Kane, number 9, which is a teammate of his, is the fastest Dodge so far has been on the racetrack, and I think Dick Bergman has got something going on. Dick, who you caught up with down there?
Well, I've caught up with Jamie McMurray, who last night at the Bud Shootout did a terrific job, wound up finishing 2nd. That was a night race. Today is day qualifying. How does this track differ night versus day?
Well, qualifying here is pretty easy for the driver. Certainly it's up to the teams and the engines. You can hold it wide open pretty easy here, but we Crown Royal Ford.
You can hold it wide open. It scared the heck out of me.
I don't know, Dick. I think you'd have a chance. But the Crown Royal Ford Fusion was pretty good in practice yesterday. I think it'll end up somewhere between 10th and 20th. But our cars raced really well last night, and that makes it pretty encouraging for the 150s and also for the 500.
It was fun watching you up front last night. Chris Myers.
All right, thanks very much. And yeah, Kevin Harvick zooming past Jamie McMurray, that Budweiser shootout. You heard Jimmy Johnson talking about the competitiveness, and as you talked about going for hamburger, when a week from today it's more steak, as we're trying to line up not only the front row, but you know, pit selection, positioning. That's what the drivers and crews are doing today.
Yeah, it's all about bragging rights right now. You'd like to be on the front row and be the pole sitter. Right now, Reed Sorensen, he rounds up being 9th quickest. He's going to be the fastest Dodge out there right now. Again, jumping over his teammate. Good little effort right there by him. They should be pretty happy. There's the King, having an opportunity to continue his legacy. I mean, he's been around the sport forever, and it's just great to see him continue on. 7-time winner of the championship, but also 7-time winner here at Daytona. I mean, he's done it all right there. You see the gentleman right here in the red and white ball cap behind him, the white shirt. That's his longtime crew chief, Dale Emmett.
Important with all the mergers necessary that the Petty name continue on in racing and be a brand name out in front, and certainly for Reed Sorensen, a great opportunity to link up with one of the greats in the sport. That's why they call him the King. And Chevy's too, by the way, the top 5 spots held with Mark Martin on the pole for the moment, followed by
I've been a little bit surprised so far that you know, the 5 Chevys are up there, but you also got 2 Fords right there. But the fastest guy right now has to be, you know, Scott Speed in that Toyota. We haven't seen a lot out of the Toyotas yet, so it'll be interesting to see how it's going to kind of play out. But Carl Edwards is on the truck, the man who pretty much wowed us all last year.
Carl Edwards, 9 wins, led all drivers. He had 19 actually, top 5 finishes, which also led everybody. 2nd in the 2008 NASCAR Sprint Cup standings, and a lot of the backflip was also 2nd in the Nationwide Series. and put on quite a show, especially in the chase. Very aggressive to the finish.
Oh, he's very aggressive, and again, a lot of people are choosing him this year to be the guy that can challenge Jimmy Johnson to upset him. I think that Darrell Walter was reading a quote the other day that Darrell said, well, I'm not going to pick anybody else but Jimmy Johnson, but I think a lot of people right now are believing that Carl Edwards can actually unseat that number 48 car. So it should be an interesting battle. And how did Darrell put it last night? In a duck?
Yes, chasing. Everybody was chasing the duck. Will they be chasing the duck once we start next Sunday with Bob Osborne? A strong team gets stronger. And congratulations, Carl Edwards getting married.
Oh, yeah.
As he seems to be at ease. Let's rejoin Mike, Darrell, and Larry upstairs.
Carl Edwards 48.87 on his first lap. Not a bad first lap, about mid-pack of the cars we've seen so far in his Roush Fenway Ford. Last year in the 500, he started 11th, finished 19th. In fact, he's never had a top 10 finish in his 4 Daytona 500s.
Yeah, the other Roush Fenway car that's been so far was Greg Biffle. Greg's first lap, he's 7th right now, Greg is, was a 48.65. So Carl is a couple of tenths slower than Greg on lap 1. Looks like he's going to be about that much behind Greg Biffle on lap 2.
A lot of people ask me about Carl, and I tell them all the time, if I was going to start a team tomorrow, he'd be the guy I'd want in my car. Mainly because I love his enthusiasm and his passion for the sport and the way he goes about his business. I think he's a great addition to our sport.
And I think his whole season could have been summed up in that race at, where was it, Kansas on the last lap?
Oh, yeah.
He and Jimmy Johnson. Carl was not going to settle for second. He was going to either take the lead or knock the wall down trying, and he ended up doing both.
Yeah, but you know what?
But he went for it.
He did it under control. That was a controlled bonsai move. He knew he probably was going to hit that fence, but he was ready for it, and when he did, he gassed it. And I thought it was a brilliant move myself.
Now here's Michael Waltrip standing out on pit road waiting for his car, which had to take a second trip through the inspection line, and is just now being rolled up into position so he can make his qualifying attempt. If your car is not on the line when it's your turn to go, NASCAR gives you 5 minutes to complete the inspection process and get it there.
Young man in the wheelchair that was rolling along the side of Michael's car, that's a Booty Barker. And Booty was over at Haas Racing last year. He came over and worked for Michael this year. And I'm telling you, there's nobody that's more committed and devoted and has the passion for this sport than Booty does.
He is a smart guy.
And he's
worked
smarter
over
than
there
Whip.
at Hendrick Motorsports. Actually, is a shock specialist for Jeff Gordon.
He knows we're talking about him too. I think he knows we're talking about him.
And we see him quite a bit on Speed TV, and he expresses himself very well about his passion for the sport and the details of it. Michael's teammate, David Rudiman, on track. He'll be competing in his 3rd Daytona 500 this year. Qualified 4th for the race last year, but ended up starting 42nd and finishing 18th. That's because today only the front row is set for the race. Everyone else will learn on Thursday in the dual 150-mile races that you'll see live on Speed, where they will start in the 43-car field.
David is the inspiration at Michael Waltrip Racing. I mean, David won the pole at Homestead at the end of the year. He dominated. He led so many laps at Richmond and thought he was going to get a win there. Had a little issue in the pits, I think. So David has really been the staying power for this team.
Tell you what, that's a pretty good first lap, 48.44, and David was one of the faster Toyotas yesterday, was 8th quickest in that final practice.
That is the 5th fastest first lap that we've seen.
And he's always been a whale of a qualifier. Now, you say here a driver can't do anything, but I'm going to tell you, he's doing something because his car is always fast no matter where he goes.
Darrell, what I'm seeing, I don't think he's going to pick up a lot on lap 2 because on lap 1 he wasn't doing that complete rim ride like we saw on a couple of cars earlier.
Yeah, I think you're right. If just down a lane or two will make a big difference in your first lap.
It looks like a pickup of 3 positions to move Rudiman into the top 10 for now. 9th with a 48.17. That's 186.8 miles per hour.
Puts him right there with Scott Speed, the other Toyota that's gone out, at a 16.9, and David's at a 17.3.
have a whole fleet of new crew chiefs over there at Michael Waltrip Racing. Booty Barker, as we were talking about, is with Michael Waltrip, and Rodney Childress moved over from Gillette Evernham to work with David Rudem.
So Rudeman 9th fastest so far. Mark Martin won Pablo Montoya. Currently the front row. As veteran Jeff Burton from South Boston, Virginia comes out for Richard Childress Racing. Last year, Burton scored 2 victories at Bristol Motor Speedway and Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte. He finished 6th in the Sprint Cup standings, his best series finish since 2000. This will be his 16th Daytona 500. His brother Ward won the race in 2002.
And I tell you what, I thought this 31 car a year ago was in position to win this Daytona 500. He led about 9 of the last dozen laps or so and got shuffled out at the very end and didn't even end up finishing in the top 10, finished 13th.
Now this is another Richard Childress car, and we'll see if he's right back there with Kevin Harvick at the tail end of this field.
And you know what, as a driver, when you come to Daytona, that's something that it's like a nightmare that you live all the way through the race, wanting to be in a position to win, but also knowing that, man, when you are, that if you make the wrong move, go the wrong way. Last night Kevin Harvick went the right way, you know, and Jamie McMurray probably says, I should have done this or I should have done. That's the fight you have with yourself all the way coming up to those last few laps of the 500, making the right move to be able to capitalize on the position you're in.
Jeff Burton was with Roush Racing in a Ford when he was runner-up in the Daytona 500 in 2000.
Now his first lap is substantially better than his teammate's second lap. Jeff is a 48.92 right now, so he definitely is going to run quite a bit better than that 29 car. But going back to when his teammate Kevin Harvick qualified, I know he came on the radio and commented to Todd Barrier's crew chief that the alternator wasn't putting out. And Darrell, I think you touched on it briefly. You saw Jeff Hammond and Chris Myers down there a while ago talking about all the little things that these guys do just to try to get 1 or 2 more horsepower. And a lot of times what they will do, they'll have the alternator where it's not working because that's a little more drag on the engine. And when you're talking about that restrictor plate where the power's so low anyhow, if you can just do something to help it 1 or 2 horsepower, it will show up on the stopwatch.
Nice pickup for Jeff Burton. 48.39 is his lap. He is 12th quickest, and that lap is 0.6 of a second faster than his teammate Kevin Harvick. Coming up, Paul Menard, the Rocket, Ryan Newman, and Jamie McMurray. Dale Earnhardt Jr. waiting his team turn to go, rather. He will go out 30th in line. Paul Menard is on the speedway to run his 3rd Daytona 500. Menard had the 8th fastest first lap. He has the 7th quickest second lap at 48.11. Now he has picked up the points from one of the Yates cars last season. This is a Yates Racing Ford, and it'll carry number 98.
It's a couple of tenths better than he practiced, so not a bad effort on their part.
Dick Berggren
with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and oh boy, has he had a fast car in practice, 3rd in both of the practice sessions. What do you think? You got a shot at the pole today?
Well, we got a teammate. All our teammates actually run really good. We've got some amazing horsepower, and the guys built a good car. Rolls real good. And coast down was real good for it all winter. So we're looking forward to seeing what we can do. We're real optimistic.
Well, he sure gave the fans something to cheer about last night before the big wreck at the end.
Thanks, Dick.
Mike, real quickly talking about the coast down. What they do is they take these things like the proving ground or anywhere where you can get it get the thing up to as fast as it'll go, cut the motor off, and then let it coast and see how far it'll coast. While it's doing that, I tell you, I've done it before. You won't believe how much wind noise these cars have flapping around. You can hear it sometimes. And what you work on is not only trying to get it to coast further, but get rid of some of that turbulence that goes on around the car.
Ryan Newman now driving for Stewart Haas Racing. Last year, his final year with Roger Penske. He and teammate Kurt Busch in the number 2 drafted to a 1-2 finish, the first 1-2 finish in NASCAR for Penske Racing. And car owner Roger Penske and driver Ryan Newman's first victory in the Daytona 500. His rookie season, he quickly picked up the nickname the Rocket, not just because he's a graduate engineer from Purdue, but because he won 6 poles in his rookie season, and for a while was winning the pole 1 out of every 4 qualifying attempts, and that's remarkable.
And almost every time it was a track record. I mean, it seemed like every time he'd go somewhere and win a pole, it'd be like a new track record.
Now this car is locked into the top 35 because these points were transferred from that number 66 car of Haas Racing from 2008, a car and a team that finished in the top 35 in owner points.
Newman losing a little bit of speed there off turn 2.
He come off a turn a little bit higher than what I've seen some of the guys. Looked like he may have given up just a little bit right there. I think some of these guys may have been watching the telecast and they're trying to avoid the bump. See how he moved up a tad there? Not just right on eating up that yellow line.
He actually gained a spot or 2 through turn 3 and 4, gave one back. Now he keeps going back and forth, and it's still gaining coming down to the start finish line. Remember, this is a Hendrick engine package in this car, and he's second quickest at a 47.92. We have a car at a 91, one at a 92, one at a 93, and one at a 94 right now.
And then a 96. But he did exactly what I've been wondering if anybody. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want the guys down there to say, oh, well, you heard it on television. But he went above those bumps that have been slowing guys down, I'm telling you.
Now, for all of Newman's pole-winning prowess, his best Daytona 500 time trial was 23rd last year, and now he is second to Mark Martin.
Gets in nice and low right there like you would want to, but see, he's not right down on the yellow line, just up enough to where he's missing, right in there particularly, where he's missing those big dips in the racetrack.
Now, Stuart Haas uses Hendrick engines and Hendrick chassis, but they hang their own bodies and prepare these cars in their shop in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
That's a good run, though, for that 39 car.
Really is.
39 was Newman's number during his open wheel USAC days, and it was available. That's what he chose to run this year.
And you know, we talk about Hendrick engines, Hendrick cars. I don't think we can underestimate the crew chief and the crew that's working on that car. Tony Gibson and a lot of the guys that came over from DEI last year that worked on that 8 car with Mark Martin and Eric Almirola. That's the crew on that 39 car. And that's something I think that Tony Stewart has done such a great job. He has really saturated and pollinated Stewart Haas Racing with a lot of good people within the sport.
Said he learned that from Joe Gibbs. Coach told him, hire good people and empower them to do what they do best. Jamie McMurray for Roush Fenway Racing, reunited with his former crew chief Donnie Wingo. McMurray will be running his 7th Daytona 500, and he is a former July race winner here 2 years ago.
And you know, Mike, I just feel like we have to do a little bit of why here, because we've mentioned the word carburetor restrictor plate so many times during this broadcast. Why do we run it here in Talladega and not anywhere else? Well, we really don't need it anywhere else. The reason we run it here in Talladega, these are the 2 tracks where the drivers run wide open around these racetracks. They never lift the throttle. And if you didn't have that carburetor restrictor plate to pull the power back, these things at 800 and something horsepower, they'd be running over 210 miles an hour around these 2 racetracks. When you're that fast and these cars get sideways or start to spin out, they become like an airplane and they try to take off. And that's what happened in 1987 at Talladega, which is what has got us to the carburetor restrictor plate with Bobby Allison.
Yeah, you're talking about running 210 miles an hour. We ran that with 650 horsepower. That's about what we had when Bill was sitting on poles here at Talladega, Daytona and Talladega, 212 Talladega, 210 here. We had 650 to 700 horsepower. You've got another 150 horsepower now. So
no telling how fast they'd be. Too fast.
They'd be undrivable. They'd just be undrivable.
Jimmy Mack, 48.25. He is the 4th quickest Ford and is 12th overall. Ryan Newman climbs out after a run that right now puts him 2nd fastest. A little comparison to last year. Mark Martin's current pole speed a little quicker than Jimmy Johnson's pole run last year. Now, all of the top 5 of last year are here, but for Dave Blaney, who does not have a ride going into the 2009 season. Blaney is here at Daytona, hopeful of putting something together.
And the trend there is, look how many more cars, how much closer they are to the pole car this year than they have been in the past.
True. Good point. Matt?
Ryan Newman's already debriefed with Bobby Hutchins and Tony Gibson. DW was very impressed. He wasn't going to say anything, he said, until someone did it, and you did, where you went around the bumps, he said, in turn 4.
Yeah, that's what I've always kind of practiced here, just to miss the tunnel bump, coming to the good lap. You want to get all the distance you can for the first one. That's the way I've always done it. It's good enough for second right now. Sorry, Dave. But, you know, just you do what you can. It was a great run for the U.S. Army Chevrolet. Tony Gibson, these guys, everybody from Stewart-Haas has done a great job in the offseason to build a team, an organization, and a good fast race car, most importantly.
This has to really set a good tone for the rest of Speed Weeks for you and this team.
Well, it's a good start, no doubt. This is our start. We didn't get last night, so you know we look forward to Wednesday especially.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Michael Waltrip on track in the Napa Camry. Had to take a second trip through the inspection line, but still got out and on the qualifying line in time to beat the clock. Let's see how he does against the stopwatch.
Daryl, it's hard to believe little brother's got 725 career starts. He just keeps on keeping on, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I've heard him say a number of times already leading up to this year, this is a pivotal year for him. He wants to perform better. He wants to get to where he can, you know, race better, be more consistent. And as I mentioned about David Rudiman, Rudiman puts a lot of pressure on him because he needs to be able to keep up with Rudiman right now.
This will be Michael's 23rd Daytona 500, winner in 2001 and 2003.
Pretty good first lap. I think he's going to end up somewhere probably, I don't know, maybe 15th.
Yeah, that's about 3/10 off of what David Rudiman, his teammate, ran on lap 1. Michael runs a 48.77. David ran a 48.44.
Yeah, it might be a stretch to get to 15th.
Right now, he looks like he's kind of flirting in with the 40s, maybe 48.40s.
But if you watch Michael's car, and I've always watched him down here, when everybody else's cars is bouncing and jumping up and down, he's got a little softer ride look to his car, which pays off in the race on a long run.
17th for Michael Waltrip at 48.43. And that's about 36/100ths off of what his teammate Rudiman ran.
And again, Mike, you mentioned it at the top of the show. When you look at our top 35 cars, what they're qualifying for is for the front row of the Daytona 500. Everyone else is qualifying for their starting position in the Gatorade Dual races on Thursday.
Mike Helton in conference with Dale Jr.
I love Mike Helton. He's a good man. I tell you, this sport is lucky to have somebody that can do and handle the things the way he does in the professional manner that he does. We are blessed to have him at the helm of the ship.
Show me the chief executive of another sport who will walk from the officials booth to the TV booth during a commercial break to educate us.
Jack Ingram.
Yeah,
Jack. Fat Jack.
Former champion of what's now the Nationwide Series. Multiple champion. The Iron Man, they called him.
From Hickory, North Carolina, and number 11.
Now, you want to talk about a single car operation and a driver owner? There's one right there, Jack Ingram. He drove his truck. He worked on his race car. He drove his race car.
Yeah.
And did it with a lot of success.
He did. Fun guy to race with.
David Reagan for Roush Fenway Racing in the UPS Ford. Second generation driver. He'll be starting his third Daytona 500 next Sunday. It'll be his 75th start in the Sprint Cup Series. Qualified 13th fastest here last year, but most importantly, got a top 5 finish in the sport's biggest race.
Had a good car last night, just didn't last long
Never even got it warmed up good, did he?
That's what my daddy used to say, son, you didn't even get your water hot.
David was about mid-pack in that practice session yesterday afternoon. 48.75. Right now, Greg Biffle continues to be pretty much the fastest of the Roush Fenway cars.
Now Biff's sitting there in a nice spot right now at 48.15. That's a pretty nice lap.
And I think his crew chief, Greg Irwin, on the radio, you could hear he was pretty happy
excited
with it.
about it, wasn't he? Yeah.
And there'll be one more Roush Fenway car to qualify. Matt Kenseth, he'll go here in about 6 or 7 cars.
Note the yellow line here at Daytona International Speedway and Talladega. It's now a double yellow line, no passing below the double yellow. Everybody knows what a double yellow line means. It means no passing, and that differentiates Daytona and Talladega from the rest of the tracks on the tour. That's a new touch this year as Reagan clocks in at 48.29, 14th quickest. Dick Berggren
with 18-year-old Joey Logano, and he is going to be racing in just about everything there is here at Daytona except the truck race. You're not running the truck race, are you?
No.
Are you finding your way around the racetrack? Have you got enough experience now so you really know what the line is, where you want to be on any given moment?
Yeah, I think after the shootout practice the other night, it helped me out a lot. That answered a lot of my questions here at the Home Depot Toyota. And then had the ARCA race yesterday, learned a lot there. The shootout didn't go as we wanted it to, but you know, I'm sure we'll get some experience in the duels and stuff like that, so we'll be all right.
Okay, good luck with qualifying. Let's go to Krista.
Hey, Dick Berggren, I am at one of the most unique experiences of Daytona International Speedway. It's the fan deck. These fans up here on top of the garage stalls just waiting for a glimpse of their favorite driver. We've kind of been taking a little poll. Let's find out who everybody's waiting for. What about you, ma'am?
Dale Jr.
Tony Stewart.
There we go. We've got a nice mix. What about
Martin
you?
Truex Jr., he the man.
Martin Truex. He's got the Martin Truex hat. What about you, sir?
Chris Myers, baby.
That explains a lot, doesn't it?
All the way from Bolton, Ontario, Canada.
Chris Myers. Well, say hello to Chris's brother for us.
Krista, I can't believe you planted that person.
No, I did not plant that.
Yes, you did.
Chris Myers fan.
No way.
Yes, you did.
We'll send duct tape. We'll send Elliott Sadler out to qualify in the Stanley Tools Dodge.
Just an update. We're approaching the halfway mark of this qualifying session, and one thing about it, the weather, wind-wise, temperature-wise, track temperature-wise, it's pretty much stayed the same.
Let me ask you something. Since we're on the subject of Chris Myers, you know where he was born?
No.
Hollywood, Florida. You know where he lives?
Hollywood, California.
Hollywood, California. Where is he now?
In the Hollywood Hotel.
And who does he work with?
Hollywood Hammond.
So what does that tell you?
Nothing.
All right. Hey, Daryl, that guy that was looking for me from Canada, I sold him a boogity, boogity, boogity T-shirt at a discount. It all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, when the boogity came off in the wash, and he wants his money back.
That's right. Wants the Hollywood Hotel T-shirt. There you go.
I just think Myers was destined to be in Hollywood. That's all I can figure
Keeping
out.
him up sweeping the floors.
Yeah.
Elliott Sadler finished 11th or better in his last 5 Daytona 500s. 4 of those were top 10s. He was the runner-up here to Ward Burton in 2002 when he was driving for the Wood Brothers. This will be his 11th Daytona 500.
Now, I thought he would probably end up being possibly the fastest Dodge, but I'm just not sure that he's going to run faster than his teammate Reed Sorensen right now, who is 15th. He's going to be right there close to him, but I don't think he's going to be faster.
You're right, Larry. 16, 48, 37. He misses Sorensen by 1,000th of a second.
1/1000th of a second. They got him close.
You know, they got a lot of uses for duct tape these days. Here's one of the best.
I would say that goes straight to the top of the charts.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
Mark Martin and Ryan Newman currently hold the front row for next Sunday's Daytona 500 on Fox. Here is Sam Hornish Jr. from Defiance, Ohio. He'll be in his second Daytona 500. He finished 15th last year. Started 19th, qualified back in 43rd fastest position. 49.15 on Hornish's first lap.
Now this car is locked into the top 35. The points being transferred from the number 22 car of 2008 that did finish in the top 35. Sam ends up at a 48.62. Only car that's slower than Sam is Kevin Harvick at a 49.01. Well, I would say with this next car, a lot of crew chiefs, they run probably to the top of the trucks, because I think walking through the garage area, they felt like this was going to be one that was going to set a mark right here.
Martin Truex Jr. from New Jersey will be our next qualifier. A lot of rookies here and some familiar faces that are not. We mentioned Dave Blaney does not have a ride. Kenny Schrader after 23 Daytona 500s. Sterling Marlin will race some this year, but not in this event. 26 straight. And for the first time since 1965, there is no driver named Petty attempting to qualify for the 500. Kyle Petty's dad, Richard, sat out the 65 race because Chrysler Corporation decided not to compete and sent Richard drag racing instead for the part of the season in a dispute over rule restrictions. Kyle's going to run some Grand Am Series races
I think
this
quite
year,
a number of races,
and do some NASCAR TV for TNT. Martin Truex Jr. It'll be his 5th Daytona 500. He's never qualified better than 21st for this race. Finished 16th 3 years ago, but he was second in final practice.
And I think a lot of teams felt like that they were really holding some cards on this one car. And remember, he has a teammate right now that's third, Juan Pablo Montoya, and his other teammate, Eric Almirola, is 5th. So there's 2 teammates in the top 5 right now.
Hit the track pretty hard coming around the top there. Saw white smoke come out from under it.
His first lap needs to be a 40 or better, and it is 48.40. Puts him right with the 4 quickest cars. Slower than Almirola at a 48.28, but within striking distance of the front row.
Yeah, I think you got to be better than 6 quickest coming off turn 2 to get there. I just don't think you're going to be able to gain that much. It came down a little bit, but I just don't think it's going to get there.
I believe that car, it hit, I know it hit the
Boy,
track.
it kept coming all the way down the back straightaway, Darrell. I mean, it went from 5th to the pole, the distance of the back straightaway. But right now, he's to the good.
That's an amazing pickup down the backstretch.
The thing is
Kevin
hopping
Mann
around,
his crew
bouncing
chief.
pretty good, but looks like it's not slowing it down any.
Darrell, he's going to do it. He's going to be faster than Mark Martin. 47.87.
That's top of the board, man, right there.
Dead on 188 miles per hour.
A little bit, I felt some gusting, but
And the whole pickup was on the back straightaway.
real proud of you for that one.
The pride of Mayetta, New Jersey, Martin Truex Jr. right now is the fastest qualifier for next Sunday's Daytona 500 on Fox. Coming up, Marcus Ambrose and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Australian Marcus Ambrose in the Little Debbie's Toyota, trying to make his first Daytona start. Well, he will make his first Daytona start. He ran 11 Cup races in 2008. None at Daytona or Talladega, the 2 restrictor plate tracks. And he times in 18th at a 48.38.
Yeah, that was the last car that was in the top 35 and owner points. Now, we've been talking about carburetor restrictor plate. This is what happens. They put the gasket in place on top of the intake. Then there goes that 32nd carburetor restrictor plate. You can see how much smaller the holes are. Then they put the gasket, then the spacer, and then they'll put the carburetor on top of that. Now, this is a crew member for Gillette Evernham or Richard Petty Motorsports, I might say, doing this. When NASCAR does this, going through for the race or qualifying, you use their restrictor plate, you use their gaskets. In fact, crew members never touch those pieces. NASCAR does the entire process, and if a restrictor plate sits on a pole or wins a race, it's never to be used again.
Martin Truex Jr. climbs out after setting the fastest lap so far. Here is his former teammate at DEI, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Last year was Junior's first with Hendrick Motorsports. He scored 1 victory at Michigan and finished 12th in the 2008 standings. This will be Junior's 10th Daytona 500. He's the 2004 winner and sat on the outside pole in 2003.
He was third quickest in both the practice sessions yesterday, so I don't think we can take our eye off this 88 car. He's absolutely all the way against the wall on his first lap, so we know he will pick up a substantial amount of time from lap 1 to lap 2. But Darrell, it does not look like it's going to be a real aggressive first lap.
Not a very fast first lap, but you know, it could get him in the teens.
His teammates are 2nd, 5th, and 7th. The other 3 Rick Hendrick cars.
But you definitely will see maximum pickup here because he was right against the wall on lap 1, right against that yellow line on lap 2.
Well, I think the reason we saw the 1 car pick up so much down the back straightaway, let's see how Dale Jr. does. The wind is now, it's not a headwind anymore. At best, it maybe is a crosswind, almost becoming a tailwind.
I don't think this 88 car is going to be this happy with this qualifying run based on where they were yesterday in those 2 practice sessions. He actually ran a 48.03.
48.10. So that's 9th fastest.
Actually slowed down a little bit from practice.
Fastest man in Daytona is with Matt Yoakum.
Saturday in practice, he predicted they would have a strong run today. This run is big for you and this team for so many reasons. Why?
Well, it's been a tough winter. You know, everybody's read about what's going on, and there was a lot of uncertainty throughout part of the winter. And just proud of my guys for all their hard work, for sticking with it, for not letting anything get them down. They never have, and it's a good feeling. They've done a great job building an awesome car. I got to thank everybody at DCR for an excellent motor. They've come a long way in a year, so we're excited about it. It's not important to qualify up front, but we've never had a shot at the pole before, and it's nice to come here and have a shot. So just proud of all the guys for it, and hopefully we'll get this Bass Pro Chevy on the pole.
The gusts have been coming and going. As far as you on the racetrack, did you feel a lot of crosswind or tail or headwind?
I felt a good bit down the back, but it didn't seem to slow the car down too much. It just kind of was blowing me towards the bottom. So it was more of a crosswind than a headwind, which is good. But we'll just have to see what happens. You know, there's still some good cars left. 21 is going to be tough. It's good to see that car running real fast like it used to. And there's a few other good cars, too. So we're not out of it just yet, but front row would be awesome.
Congratulations on your run.
Thank you.
The uncertainty Truex talked about was whether his team from last year, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, could continue as an independent entity. They ended up merging with Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates. For 2009, there's his dad, Martin, on the left, and team members congratulating Truex on his run. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Now get over 130 of your favorite channels in high definition on DirecTV.
Mike, you know, to me, what should make that run so rewarding for Martin Truex Jr., the one team, and Kevin Mannion, I think we forget the last time we were here was in July of last year. In going through initial inspection, NASCAR puts a grid of templates on these race cars. As we watched Denny Hamlin start his run in the 11 car, and the car was way off with the templates. NASCAR took their race car. They suspended Kevin Mannion, the crew chief, for 6 weeks. They fined him a substantial amount of money, I think it was $100,000, and took driver and owner points, and that knocked the wind out of their sail for the rest of the year. To me, that's what makes this run, regardless, so rewarding.
You know where Mannion's going to spend his evenings in Daytona this week? Wrenching on his modified down at the short track in New Smyrna Beach, just south of here, with Ryan Newman behind the wheel.
Just can't get enough.
But one thing he did find out out where the edge was when he went going through inspection. Yes. And so now he knows not to go quite that far.
Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs Racing, the FedEx Toyota, 48.81 on his first lap. And Hamlin's going to pick up here, looks like, into the top 15 as he gets ready to run his 4th Daytona 500.
15th at a 48.27. So right now, Scott Speed, the rookie, is still the fastest Toyota.
Dick Bergman.
Well, 4 weeks ago, Jeremy Mayfield had no ride for the Daytona 500 and uncertain. Well, you tell the story. What happened?
Well, it's something we've been working on for a while, but it just came together 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I actually pulled in the shop that Billy Savola was kind enough to let us use, and Tony and Cecil were in there mopping the floors, and we still didn't have none at that point in time. And I was like, let's try the Martys, have a try and see what we can put together. And we rode up there, and 2 hours later, we had enough stuff to go racing with. So it all came together pretty quick, but thanks to a lot of good people that were involved, and everybody at Triad and Marty Gaunt and Mike Hill and all those guys really were able to let us do what we need to do and get our cars together in time, and here we are.
Imagine that 3 weeks ago, no cars, no motors. They bought the toolbox, trucks, trailers, all of it, and they're down here. Congratulations, we're glad to see you.
Makes me feel good to see Owensboro, Kentucky by his name. Kind of
your hometown.
Our hometown, you know, me, Michael, Jeremy, the Green brothers. Good little core came out of the big old group.
Matt Kenseth getting ready to run his 10th Daytona 500. For the first time since 2001, Kenseth was shut out of victory lane last season. Still, he amassed 20 top 10 finishes and wound up 11th in the Sprint Cup standings.
Tell you what, last night in the Budweiser shootout, he had a car there at one time. I thought, man, he drove up there, and I said, this cat's for real. Got shuffled around a little bit, but still he showed that he could get up there and lead the race if things worked out for him.
You know, Mike, even though he did not win a race last year, he made the chase for the Sprint Cup Series championship. And Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson are the only 2 drivers that's done that all 5 years.
Last July at Daytona, Kenseth got his best restrictor plate race finish, 3rd.
This is the final Roush Fenway car to go. Greg Biffle still carrying the banner for Roush Fenway. Right now, Greg is 11th quickest. We have 2 Fords in the top 10. Bobby Labonte's 8th, Paul Menard's 10th.
Those are Yates Fords. Those
yep.
2 are.
Matt Kenseth first lap 48.67.
Yeah.
It's about as quick as his teammate Greg Biffle ran.
Yeah, that's probably going to drop him in the 20s somewhere.
May not pick up quite as much though.
Yeah,
in the second lap.
In the 20, as far as time goes, that's probably going to put him about 17th.
Now we've got 3 more drivers to go before the drivers who must qualify on time or race their way into the field. There are 4 left, but Casey Mears, after the engine change, excused from his qualifying draw position. He will run last as Kenseth comes across the line 14th with a 48.22. Unlike every other race this season, this will not be knockout qualifying. It's not go or go home. It's where you start on Thursday in the dual races that set the field for the 500. We'll have more on who ends up where when we get to those drivers who must qualify on time, one of whom is with Steve Burns.
And we're catching up with Scott Riggs to see how his nerves are. And as Mike Joy just explained, only the front row is set today. So what is the goal for you and Tommy Baldwin?
Well, we need to be one of the top go-or-go-homers today. If we can be one of the top go-or-go-homers today, that'll guarantee us in the show. Then we can sort of play with the 150 with our car, use it for a very good test session that all these guys that weren't in the shootout desperately need to figure out what the car's going to do in the long run, how it's going to go away, and things like that. You know, we're here at Daytona, so I'm so happy to be here. At the same time, if you weren't here, you're sitting at home sick on your stomach wishing you were here. If you're here in my situation, you're here sick on your stomach waiting to get all this over with today.
So you got it all in one shot.
You get it all in one shot. And it's you know, it's a lot of confidence in these guys. Triad's done a great job for us. Tommy Baldwin and all these guys have worked awful hard on these cars. We want to be here. We want to be showing our strength and showing strong today, and we want to be locked in today on time. That's our goal.
Good luck, Scott.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
As Riggs pointed out, the 3 fastest of the go-or-go-home drivers today know they will be racing in the Daytona 500 next Sunday. But first, we have Joey Logano, Clint Boyer, and Kyle Busch to qualify among the drivers who are guaranteed positions in the race by top 35 owner points from last year. And here is the much heralded rookie, 18-year-old Joey Logano.
But that's what makes coming to Daytona so intriguing, is all the scenarios. How do you get into the race? You know, through all the different channels that you have to go through sometime just to get into the race, and it seems fairly complicated if you're sitting at home probably, but if you've been down here in 30 years like Larry and I have, 50 for you, Mike.
Not quite.
We kind of understand it.
Logano will be the youngest driver to ever start the Daytona 500. His car is locked in, as Tony Stewart drove this car last season.
First lap 48.78. Now his teammate Denny Hamlin right now is 16th. His other teammate Kyle Busch will be going in a couple of cars. But that's the thing about it, Mike, when you think about the formula here, is even though we run 36 races, there's a lot of people's season hinging on those dual races on Thursday.
Yes.
Maybe catapulting them to be able to get a sponsor. Maybe catapulting them to start the season right, to get in the top 35. There's so much hinges on those dual races on Thursday, and they will be on speed.
Here's Logano, whose first lap was a little quicker than his teammate Hamlin's, and he is faster. 14th, 48.19. The young driver from Middletown, Connecticut.
Makes him the third best Toyota. Scott Speed is at a 16, Ruderman 17, and Joey's at a 19.
Two more drivers yet to qualify among those that are guaranteed into the field from last year's final finishing positions. And before we look at those, let's go back down to the Hollywood Hotel for a look at what to expect in our Daytona 500 pre-race show next Sunday.
Thanks, Mike. The Great American Race begins with a jam-packed pre-race show. We'll talk with Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman of the new Stewart-Haas team. Jimmy Johnson and Chad Knaus. Can Jimmy make it 4 in a row? And Digger is back, tan, rested, and ready to take us beneath the surface and all that. Country music star Keith Urban performs live. We'll talk to some other drivers. High drama in high def. The Great American Race, 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, right here on Fox. The pre-race show gets you ready with the gang all here as our pole qualifying and front row continues live from Daytona. Up next, we have Clint Boyer. But, Jeff, in watching here, you pointed out the Earnhardt Ganassi team. We're still adjusting to a lot of these merger new teams, but with Martin Truex Jr. on the pole and Juan Pablo Montoya and then Eric Almirola, that's 3 of the top 6 as we get a look at Casey Mears rolling out here.
Yeah, that was Clint Boyer a year ago. That's, again, one of those sheets you better kind of pull out and double check. He's down the 07, and Clint was supposed to go off, but again, you know, it's been a little bit of a change as far as the lineup.
Yeah, it's odd because Bright Boyer's now 33 and he was 07, and now
right.
Casey
like I say,
Mears.
they were both right there ready to go off, but Clint Boyer was scheduled to go out before Casey Mears, but NASCAR rolled him off instead. But now they're teammates, and Casey's now in the 07 car, the Jack Daniels car, driving and owned by Richard Childers Racing.
And Clint will follow him, and then we'll get a look at Kyle Busch, and then those guys that have to time their way in. Brad Keselowski, Jeremy Mayfield. We've heard from some of those. I want to go back, though, to the Earnhardt Ganassi team with 3 of the top 6 drivers, and for somebody to come together so fast, and at least today have their moment in the sun.
Oh, it's just amazing what this operation has been able to accomplish. You know, working with Richard Childers and his operation to get engines for that Chevrolet Now powered organization, and again, just a huge turnaround as far as, you know, Ganassi is concerned. I mean, and Chip, you know, was on our trackside show on Speed on Friday night, and he was telling us about, you know, he's a racer. You're seeing right there's Kevin Mannion in the red Bass Pro shirt. That's Felix Sabatis with Chip Ganassi, and Chip's the guy in the number 42 hat right there with his back to us. But again, he's such a racer, and he made a decision, and it's a pretty gutsy move whenever you're going to leave a manufacturer. But again, the car tomorrow, I think, allowed that to happen. They knew they had some confidence in what needed to be done and felt like they could put these cars together and be successful. And again, going and have an opportunity to partner up with Richard Childers and have a good, you know, engine program. That's a big relief off of that team as we watch Casey Mears complete his 2nd lap.
And not all that impressive.
No,
here.
not a very good effort right there. I mean, good pickup, but he's still way back there like in 29th as far as qualifying is concerned. And, you know, that's about where he was when he finished up the practice from Friday or Saturday.
Saturday's practice session.
Yeah.
And you know, for Martin Truex Jr., only one other career pole, and that's Texas from 2007, and he just nudged ahead of Mark Martin, whose best Daytona 500 start is 5th. Twice previously. We'll see if that holds up, and we do have Clint Boyer and Kyle Busch coming up as well.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it's going to be a Chevrolet qualifying day for sure, but you know, we saw last year it looked like Toyota had a stranglehold on this race, and in the end the boys from Dodge were able to kind of like wrestle it away from them, so that, you know, we still got 500 miles and anything can happen, but a great effort right there by Martin Truex Jr. And again, you know, he's been strong down there all week.
So let's rejoin up in the booth, Darrell, Larry, and Mike.
Thanks, Chris. Casey Mears, you said a lap that he probably won't be too happy with, but I think, Larry, with what they've been through this week, maybe just happy to get that lap in.
Yeah, we still have the engine rule in effect here. NASCAR will give these teams one engine change after the dual races on Thursday. The 07 car had an engine problem yesterday after practice, so they will have to go to the rear of the starting field for the dual race on Thursday. That qualifying was kind of to make sure everything was okay with that engine and for pit selection for the dual race.
Thanks for clearing that up.
So the 31 car had a problem in practice, and 07 had a...
But they were totally different problems, totally different. Yeah, I don't think they seemed too alarmed, at least when I talked to them this morning.
Now, the 31 problem, wasn't that in Bud shootout practice?
Yes.
Yes,
not practice
Yeah,
with their Daytona 500 car. But it was a Childress engine, you're right. That was a low oil pressure problem, we're told.
Exactly, and I want to go back to Childress engines, and we watch another Childress car here, Clint Boyer in the 33 car. You heard Martin Truex Jr. mention ECR engines. Martin Truex Jr., Juan Pablo Montoya, Eric Almirola, the 4 Childress cars, they have all engines that come from the Earnhardt-Childress Racing Engine Alliance that was formed a little over a year ago.
So Clint Boyer, who over the winter it looked like would not be locked into the top 35, ended up with a last-minute alliance with the 01 team. And all of these alliances, mergers, and acquisitions need to be approved by NASCAR. This one was, and Boyer's locked into a top 35 spot with a new sponsor, Cheerios. Crew Chief Shane Wilson, and the Kansas driver will be starting his 4th Daytona 500.
That ought to be a book. Mergers,
acquisitions.
Yeah, what was the other?
Alliances.
Alliances. Should be a book.
Partnerships.
Should be a book.
They talk about it on Fox News Channel all the time.
Exactly.
just not about NASCAR.
Anybody down there collaborating?
Perhaps. I'm sure they are.
It sounded like it. Scott was. Scott Riggs. He was collaborating.
Boyer busts into the top 15 with a lap of 48.19.
He by far is the fastest Richard Childress car by a bunch.
Definitely a good run for him.
So that leaves one of the top 35 drivers from 2008 yet to go, and it's the fellow who had the strongest regular season, the first 26 races of anybody in the Sprint Cup Series, Kyle Busch. 8 wins last year, second most. 21 races as the point leader, but when the chase for the Sprint Cup started, that's when Kyle Busch's dream season faltered, and he wound up 10th in the final standings. 12 career wins already at the young age of 23, and he'll be starting his 5th Daytona 500 next Sunday.
And honestly, he had the car to beat 1 year ago in the Daytona 500, his first race weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing. Ended up finishing 4th, came back to win Talladega in the spring, won the July race here. This team was awfully strong at the restrictor plate races last year.
And this victory total by Kyle Busch exceeds anybody in NASCAR for its top 3 National Touring Series. 21 victories, 8 in the Cup, a record 10 in Nationwide, and 3 in the Truck Series.
And if you mentioned he finished, I think, 10th in Nationwide Series points, he didn't even run all the races.
No. He's going to race in those 3 series this year. He's going to run a total of nearly 100 races in 2009.
Loves to race.
Sort of reminds me of the Tennessee Titans, though. Not so good in the playoffs.
Well, that was last year. It's a whole new year, and they're happy for it. Over there at Joe Gibbs Racing.
His teammates, Joey Logano is 14th. Denny Hamlin is 18th. Still the fastest Toyota continues to be rookie Scott Speed, who's 12th. Not a real stellar first lap, 48.63, although he was all the way up the top of the racetrack with that lap.
He's got a chance here to be the fastest Toyota in this field.
Yeah, I think he will be. Looks to me like he's going to be about. He's going to be in the teens. Time-wise, could be as good as maybe 11th.
And there's a lot of anticipation in this qualifying run here, because near the end of practice yesterday, they started fighting a little bit of a vibration. Felt like it was something in the engine, and the engine wasn't running right. They found a spark plug wire broke, got out there, made one final run at the end of practice. We almost felt like he may have gotten a little bit of help on that lap, but the car ran great. He was the fastest Toyota in practice, and he's going to be the fastest Toyota so far in qualifying.
48.15 for the young driver from Las Vegas, Kyle Busch, 11th overall. Now we move into the drivers who must qualify on time or race their way in, beginning with Brad Keselowski, Jeremy Mayfield.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. Get NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
So now we move into what would normally be the go or go homers, except today nobody goes home. Everybody lines up on Thursday for the dual 150-mile races that will set the Daytona 500 field. And rookie Brad Keselowski in the James Finch 09 completes his run at 48.49. That's 29th overall.
It would be good to go, though, because if you go fast enough, that could be a real plus.
That's right. The fastest three from this group are locked into the Daytona 500 if they have to fall back on their qualifying speed. Now we say three instead of the 4 spots that are available, because we need to hold out that 4th spot in case the champion's provisional is needed by either Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte, or Bill Elliott to get into the field.
Yeah, unless you're one of the fastest 3, all that gut-wrenching experience that Scott Riggs talked about, it has to go on for another 4 days. Now that right there, Bill Elliott, that's the guy that was the fastest in both practice sessions.
There's Terry Labonte in the black suit with his car owner Phil Parsons. Tony Stewart, well, there's all your 3 champions, hoping not to need that provisional. Now, if the champion's provisional is not needed, then the 4th fastest car from this group of time trialers will be guaranteed a spot in the 500.
And if more than one champion needs a championship provisional, it goes to the most recent champion, which the order of that would be Tony Stewart, Terry Labonte, and then Bill Elliott.
Got it. I got it.
Nice and simple, right?
Oh, yeah. I got it all written down.
Jeremy Mayfield, the All-Sport Toyota, our next qualifier. Here's Matt.
Hey, and Kyle Busch climbed from his race car and had a long debrief with Wesley Sherrow, who grew up in this area up near Flagler Beach, Florida. This was home racetrack, grew up in the short tracks around here in Addington, debriefing with Kyle Busch. So you've done the debrief with the 2 brain trusts of this team, the car chief and crew chief. What did you tell them about your run?
Just told them all the vitals and everything inside the car. You know, we didn't tape up solid, didn't know if that's what hurt us or not, but we didn't quite run what we ran yesterday. A little disappointing, but I guess where we ended up, 11th right now, that's not too shabby. There'll be some go or go home cars probably that'll beat us, so it's kind of cool to see the 5 car up there. You know, that's pretty neat. Alan, from being a native from down here, you know, it's good to see that, and Mark, his first time with the team, so I'm going to go give him a hard time and razz him a little bit why they could never do it for me.
And Alan Gustafson, he's talking about as a Seabreeze graduate from here in Daytona Beach, Florida. Let's go to Krista.
All right, thanks, Matt. Down here with Tony Stewart, and we're joking a little bit. Ryan Newman's up there. You can't let the employee beat the boss. What have you got for him?
I hope just enough to bounce the 5 car or 1 car off the front, too. So, you know, I'm really proud of Ryan and the guys on the U.S. Army team, and Tony Gibson and Bobby Hutchins, all these guys, and real proud of our office depot, Old Spice Chevy, too, and Darian Greb. He's just amazing how much has happened in such a short amount of time, and to watch all these cars go out that are guys in the top 35 in points and see us up there in 3rd right now with Ryan, something I'm pretty proud of so far.
Go have fun.
Jeremy Mayfield clocks in 35th with a lap of 48.62 in his Toyota. Mike Garvey, Kurt Shelmerdine, Mike Skinner are next.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. Think outside the box. By Lowe's for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together. And by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Mike Garvey on track. The Janiking Dodge has 13 starts in the Sprint Cup Series. Trying to make his first race at Daytona. Buddy Cisco is crew chief. They were 45th in practice. All of these drivers trying to post a time that will get them a decent starting spot on Thursday, when the field, but for the front row, which is decided today, will be set for the 500.
You know, we talked about all the single car operations that are down here, and certainly one thing that has helped this situation, besides a lot of good people out there and available to work on them, is the fact this new car here. It's a templated car. There's not a lot you can do to it. You can go buy cars from other race teams, major race teams, and come down here, and if you can get a decent engine package, you can be fairly competitive.
Mike Garvey, 48.91. He is 37. You got to look back to 1987 for the track record holder here at Daytona. That's when Bill Elliott sat on the pole at 210 miles an hour. Well, he is the track record holder. He is the fastest man in both practices so far this weekend, and he's with Krista.
That's right, Mike. 210 miles an hour and the fastest in practice yesterday. You've got everything going for you, Bill. Can you match what you did in practice yesterday?
The only thing I can say is we'll see. I mean, Lynn and Eddie, Dave, and all the guys have done a great job. I mean, the Motorcraft Ford Fusion has been flawless yesterday, but we'll see what we've got today.
All right, good luck, Bill.
Now, Darrell, we've heard a lot of drivers say there's not a lot you can do today in qualifying. I'd say at 210 miles per hour, driver played a pretty big role because the racetrack's still the same size.
Did you see the time, not just a miles per hour, 42 seconds? Buddy, let me tell you, that back straightaway, when you come off of turn 2, you feel like you're at Bristol.
Now look at the numbers on that car. We'll see it again, of course, when Bill comes out. NASCAR does not allow the metallic numbers that the Wood brothers used to run on the number 21 back when David Pearson or Neil Bonnet, Buddy Baker drove it. So they've improvised with the airbrush. It looks pretty cool. Got a nice retro look to it.
Well, I have not seen anybody, and I would have thought that the Wood boys might have been somebody that done. You know, and maybe NASCAR won't allow you to do it anymore, but Harry Hyde used to put baby powder on his race car when he got ready to go qualify. He would take baby powder.
Really?
Well, it's slick. And he would take that baby powder, and now he might have been using that for a decoy. I don't know. But he would take baby powder and he'd put all on the front of the car and rub it in just a little bit before the car would go out to qualify.
Yeah, less chafing, we're told from the production truck.
Dust in the wind, I thought.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kirk Shelmerdine, former crew chief for Dale Earnhardt, went to victory lane a lot with Dale here at Daytona, though never in the 500. Drove here in 2006 to a 20th place finish in the Daytona 500. That's his only start in the race. Last of his 26 starts in the Sprint Cup Series came here in July of 2006. He's a two-time pole winner in ARCA competition here.
And in 2006, he had to race his way into that race through the dual race on Thursday.
I got two buddies that live in Franklin, are friends of mine, Joe Hicks and Mike Gooch, and they're big investors in Kurt's team, and they're down here cheering him on. They were real excited that he has this Toyota Camry, got a great engine from I think TRD or somebody. They were really pumped up.
And I believe he announced this week he intends to run the entire season.
Yeah, they're trying to help him find some more sponsorship so he could do that.
48.68 for Shelmerdine, native of Philadelphia, and he clocks in 37.
Welcome back live here at Daytona. Pole qualifying, the front row right now 188 miles per hour. Martin Truex Jr. slightly ahead of Mark Martin, your pole sitter. Mike Skinner here in the 23 car. Slugger Labby, his crew chief, and the 1997 Sprint Cup Rookie of the Year. His best Daytona 500 finish fourth back in 1999.
Yeah, right now Mike's driving for Richardson Racing, and they got Mahindra tractors on this car, and he completed his first lap. Now he's completed his second lap. picked up about a half a second, but Mike's really struggling right now, guys, for speed. He's 40th quickest, so he's really going to have to basically get up on the wheel as far as the 150 duel is concerned come Thursday. I think that's the only way he's going to have an opportunity to get his way into the Daytona 500.
Back in the day, in 1997, he was the pole sitter in the Daytona 500, his first career pole. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon.
I think McReynolds had something to do with
I'm sure he did. In fact, I was going to mention, we've got such between you and Daryl, and you as a crew chief on the pole with Cale Yarborough for the Daytona.
I was a crew member for the Daytona 500 in 78.
All right, front row with Daryl, obviously.
Here in 1989,
right,
as a matter of fact.
And also won. So, a crew chief, your observations today with what you're seeing based on where we are and the drivers we're seeing coming up. We'll have the Tony Stewart here in a few moments.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the thing that makes it a little bit interesting. As always, you never know until the favorites kind of get gone, and we still have not seen what I consider the favorite, and that is Bill Elliott. He's been so fast every time out there. Got a chance to talk to Eddie and Lynn Wood, and they said that they came down here guarded. They didn't try to unload everything. They had a little bit left for today, and they were not fooling anyone. He said, what we've got is what you're seeing, so I'm really feeling good about that. Here's a guy that basically had earned his way into the Daytona 500, but because of the fact that Yates Racing partnered up with Paul Menard as well as Bobby Labonte, now finds himself having to race his way in. This 28 car earned enough points last year, but now as they swapped him around, he's now having to qualify his way in. So this is a car here that could possibly surprise a lot of people. Pretty decent in practice.
Travis Quapple, shop located at Roush Fenway, and he does have a pole in Talladega, so another restrictor plate race. A different time for Travis, and
he was 23rd in Saturday's practice right there. Again, you know, being it's a Yates car, you've always got to consider that they've got an opportunity to make a really strong run here.
His best Daytona finish 19th back in 2005. He was a guy, you know, his dad owned a body shop as a kid. He said he'd just do anything to be around cars and would clean up, sweep up, clean up, whatever needed to be done on Saturdays.
Yeah, he's
be around racing.
Former Camping World Truck Series champion. Again, with as you look at that tracker right there, all of a sudden, we talked about how fast these Yates cars are. I mean, he's got this Ford Fusion right now, right around the bottom of the racetrack, and he's up there right now, third quickest, headed off down that back straightaway, slipping back a little bit now. His line going into turn 3 again. He's right on the bottom of the racetrack, but a lot of guys have run above these bumps through 3 and 4. Looked to me like he kept the car just above the bumps there. Let's see how much it helps him off of turn 4. Still maintaining good RPM off that corner now. If he can just gain back to start finish line, this is going to be an exceptionally good lap for Travis Quapple. It should put him in a great shape to be locked in here for this Daytona 500. 7th quickest right there. And Chris, I'm telling you right now, that is a very impressive lap. A lot of pressure off this young man in that team.
Ben Leslie proud, 32-year-old Travis Quapple in his Yates Racing Ford with help from Roush Fenway. An impressive run. We'll continue live from Daytona in a moment.
Mike Wallace driving for the Racers Group clocks in at 48.68, 184.8 miles an hour. That is 39th fastest. And right now, the drivers who would lock into the field are Travis Quapple, Brad Keselowski, and Jeremy Mayfield. They are the 3 fastest right now, subject to change.
Yeah, real quickly, the wind has picked up again, Mike. Looking at the flags, back there when Truex qualified, the wind was coming like a crosswind. Now we picked up a little bit of a headwind again. Probably hurt Travis Quapple a little bit in his qualifying run.
Well, let's check with Dick and find out.
Yeah, you were so much faster in that qualifying run than in practice. Where did the additional speed come from?
Well, we knew we had some in the bag. You know, we didn't do our brakes, all our heaters, all the little tricks that everybody does for qualifying. But we were talking before, we'd be happy if we'd have qualified about a 49 or a 48.10, 48.15. Just really a great testament to everybody on this Yates team. You know, this is kind of a funny story. This team's really put together in about 3 weeks, and really got to thank Golden Corral Buffet and Grill for jumping aboard to help us. You know, you see on the back TV panel, if we finish 10th or in the top 10 on the 500, the kids are eating for free on Monday after the 500. So all the kids out there need to be cheering me on. But really just proud of Yates Racing, Ford Racing, everybody, Golden Corral jumped on board and really threw this thing together in a short period of time.
Congratulations. He's 7th quick, Mike.
Thanks, Dick. And right now he's hoping to lock in to the Daytona 500, as is this man. Tony Stewart is locked into the race already because he's the most recent past Sprint Cup champion. But now a full partner, 50% partner in Stewart Haas Racing. The runner-up in the Daytona 500 in 2004 and the outside pole sitter in 1999, trying to break into that top 3.
And he's got another former champion that is really, really pulling hard for him to be really, really fast.
A man named Labonte.
Labonte.
As in Terry.
Because if Stewart is one of the 3 fastest of this group, that opens up the champion's provisional for Terry Labonte or perhaps even Bill Elliott. So right now the bubble, Jeremy Mayfield 37th, and Stewart is faster on his first lap with a 48.50. So Tony Stewart moves into the top 3.
Not a bad lap.
Not at all. His teammate Ryan Newman is 3rd quickest at a 47.92. Tony ran just about 4/100 slower than Ryan on lap 1, but as you can see, he's flirting with the top 10 right now.
Last year here, Stewart was runner-up in the shootout and his qualifying race. He won the nationwide race on Saturday, finished 3rd in the 500. Had a great week.
That's his crew chief, Darian Grubb, that came over from Hendrick Motorsports. I don't think Tony's going to be faster than Travis Quapple, but he's going to be right up there in the top 10. 9th quickest at a 48.04. And this is what's neat about this qualifying format today, Mike. You can qualify in the top 10, but it still will not guarantee you a spot in the Daytona 500. We've got some fast race cars in this go or go home type group.
So right now, the lock-in positions are Quapple, Stewart, and Keselowski. Jeremy Mayfield is bumped out of the top 3, which means he will try to race his way in on Thursday. Now, the priority, though, for setting the grid depends on the top 2 of these cars in each of those 150-mile races Thursday. The top 3 fastest here are lock-in, but they can improve their position in the 500 field with a good run on Thursday. So basically, we just don't know who won't be in the 500 field, and we won't know that until late Thursday afternoon. Everyone still has a chance after this qualifying session's done.
And one of the things that we can't control is the luck of the draw and the weather. And I'm telling you, the wind right now is as strong as I think it was earlier in the day when the qualifying started.
There's the second generation of the Wood brothers, Len and Eddie. And there is their number 21. One of the most storied numbers in all of NASCAR racing, and Bill Elliott, the track record holder, fastest in the last 2 practice sessions, behind the wheel of that Motorcraft Ford.
And they're going to run a limited schedule this year. They've already announced that it's roughly about a 10 to 12 race schedule. In fact, we will not see them again until we get to Atlanta Motor Speedway in a little over a month. Bill Elliott will be driving the car.
Not all the way up against the wall, kind of staying down off of there.
Bill Elliott has 4 poles for the Daytona 500, tied with Buddy Baker and Cale Yarborough for the most in the race's history.
Darrell, he absolutely is flirting with the fastest first lap. Right now, the fastest first lap has been a 48.28 by Eric Almirola, and he's flirting with that right here on lap 1.
He will be the fastest first lap there, but he's not up against, he's a middle track. He didn't get it all the way up against the wall like a lot of guys have.
48.24, 186.5 for Elliott. That alone is quickest enough to get into the top 3 among the drivers who must qualify on time.
Boy, you can see him. Look at him working that wheel. That thing is eating. She's digging.
He's a little off the pole right now. He's showing second quickest between 2nd and 3rd, halfway down the back straightaway.
Right now, Mark Martin is 2nd. Mark Martin has never started on the front row of the Daytona 500.
This is going to be the corner that I think he sees above the bumps. I think that's going to pay off big time. He's riding above the bumps.
He's got work to do. He's losing ground.
Yeah, he's losing time. Yeah. Sure is.
Not going to get there. It's going to be in the top 5, but it's not going to be on the pole.
And Bill Elliott will not get his 56th career pole in Sprint Cup racing. He is 5th with a 47.93.
Yeah, 93.8 is Montoya, who's 4th. He's 93.9.
1/1000th of a second behind Montoya. That's a great effort by the Wood brothers.
Yeah, any way you look at it. I mean, they're probably a little disappointed, but how can you be disappointed with a top 5 starting spot?
They are the fastest Ford, and they likely will be locked into the 500.
Which is great news, as you mentioned, for Terry Labonte.
Not a top 5 starting spot. It's a qualifying spot.
Elliott failed to make the race in 2008. Qualified 45th in time trials. Couldn't race his way in. But right now, in the lock-in spots, Bill Elliott, Travis Kvapil, and Tony Stewart.
If you want to look at it another way, there are only 2 Fords in the top 10. Elliott and then Kvapil.
And that's pretty much all of the Fords to go. There's no more Fords left to qualify.
Next up, well, first, Dick Berggren.
Yeah, I'm going to try to jump in here with Tony Stewart and ask him, how in the heck do you come to Daytona with all new cars, all new crews, and do this well?
I can show you that real quick. It's
Bobby Hutchins.
Grab him real fast. Yeah, you get this guy right here. It's if you want your stuff to be right away, this is the guy you get here. He's the one that's been at the shop the whole time working away, and his wife's home with cancer, and he's probably needed to spend more time at home, but he's dedicated to his family. He's dedicated to this race team, and we couldn't have done this without him.
Congratulations to all of you. It's a terrific showing. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Bobby Hutchins, whose dad was a great modified racer at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as is Bobby. That's how he spends his off weekends, behind the wheel of a modified. He has developed safety equipment for NASCAR racers, and he's got a big job now at Stewart-Haas Racing, running a competition side of that operation. Here is the 1986 winner of the Daytona 500, Jeffrey Bodine from Chemung, New York. One of 4 drivers to win the 500 for Rick Hendrick, along with Darrell Waltrip, Jimmy Johnson, and Jeff Gordon.
Talking about Stewart-Haas over there, that's how you know you got something good. When you can get people the quality of a Bobby Hutchins to come to work for you, when you can hire the crew chiefs that Tony's been able to, that's when you know you got something good. You know you got a lot of potential when people outside of that team see that and they're willing to come to work for you.
In recent years, Jeffrey Bodine's name has been most closely associated with bobsled racing. He and Bob Cuneo, the engineer at Chassis Dynamics in Connecticut, raised funds for and developed the sleds used by the U.S. Olympic team. And now here's Jeffrey, who's been running, he runs some truck races, and now back behind the wheel of a cup car, trying to make the 500.
In fact, he has that Bodine Bobsled Challenge every mid-January up at Lake Placid. Guess who won it this past year? Brother Todd Bodine.
Oh. You ought to try that, Larry.
I don't think so. That's Hammond's deal.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager.
We are here today to set the front row for the Daytona 500. On Thursday, 4 drivers will race their way in to 4 of the remaining 8 spots in the field. Then we'll fall back on the qualifying times from today for the next 3 positions, and finally the champions provisional if needed to set the field.
If you see those empty garages down there, folks at home, don't get excited. That was full. There were 60 ARCA cars in there yesterday, and starting tomorrow, I think there'll be about that many nationwide cars in there. So that garage is just idle today. She'll be full again tomorrow.
Here's the number 51 Blackjack Racing team. They finished 11th in the ARCA series last year, 3rd in 2007. Dexter Bean will be their driver, but he didn't have enough super speedway experience to be approved to run the 500. So 24-year-old Kelly Byers is behind the wheel, and he clocks in with a 49.53. That is 51st quickest. Dick Berggren.
With Bill Elliott, one of the most popular drivers NASCAR has ever had. Last year he missed the show. This year so much faster. Where's the speed coming from this year?
Well, I'd have to give it credit to David Hyder and all the guys on the team. Lynn and Eddie really sat down and put a good plan together for the whole Motorcraft team, and that's what all paid off. I'm telling you, I've got so many mixed emotions now. I'm disappointed because we didn't run a little bit faster, but I'm thrilled to death with where we're at. So especially, where you're at, you can't get greedy. You've got to look at it from the standpoint of, okay, did I chip everything out and try to go for the pole? Well, if I mess up, then we're out of the Daytona 500 and have to race our way in on Thursday. So it's such a double-edged sword. And for us, we've got to go a little bit the conservative route and make sure we get a good, solid qualifying run in. And I'm telling you what, it's a great race car.
With a great driver.
And what he's talking about right there, if you go back a couple hours ago when Chris and Jeff down at the Hollywood Hotel was talking about dropping the fluid levels, a couple of years ago, the Wood brothers got aggressive and dropped the rear end grease level too low and burnt the gear up qualifying. So that's what he's talking about. You can't get greedy when you're in the position outside the top 35.
Bill Elliott and Tony Stewart right now are in 2 of the 3 lock-in positions. Here is the 3rd of our past champions trying to make the Daytona 500 on time, Terry Labonte. He's driving the Window World Camry.
Yeah, they make windows.
Replacement windows.
Replacement windows.
Up in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And Phil Parsons, our Speed TV colleague, is one of the co-owners of this car.
What was that other window company that Terry used to have? They used to have
M&W.
M&W, that's right.
M&W. Yep. But here's Terry trying to time his way in. If he can't be among those fast 3 from this session, he's sure hoping that Bill Elliott and Tony Stewart remain in the top 3, and then the Champions Provisional, if needed, would go to Labonte. Of course, he can still race his way in on Thursday if the car's not quick enough this afternoon.
Now, this team plans on running the entire schedule. I don't know that all those races will be with Terry Labonte. One thing I do need to go back and correct myself. I said all the Fords that they have qualified, the next car up, Boris said, actually is in a Ford.
I believe Dave Blaney's going to drive this car.
That's exactly
after
right.
Daytona, yeah.
He's going to run some races.
Some races, I'm not sure where, but.
Labonte picks up from 47th to 44th with a 49.43 for the 1984 and 1996 champion of the series.
And this may well be a collaboration. I'm not sure. I got to find out a little bit more about that. A collaboration with.
As opposed to an alliance.
I don't think it's an alliance. I believe this truly is a collaboration here.
So Elliott, Quapple, and Stewart remain in the top 3 positions among the drivers who must make the field on time or race in, and we have 9 drivers left to qualify.
Boy, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the action and excitement around here. What are we going to do tomorrow?
Nothing.
I never thought I'd come to Daytona and they'd say the track's going to be dark for 2 days. I thought that was only in Hollywood.
No practice until Wednesday.
Well, our NASCAR on Fox and Speed TV crews, they have had a busy week here in Daytona, and they are due a couple of days rest.
I think these race teams are ready for a little bit of a break, especially those 28 teams that's been participating in getting ready for Daytona 500 qualifying and the Budweiser shootout.
Boris said, champion road racer. His dad was a great road racer and a U.S. Olympic bobsled driver.
Well, in fact, that Bodine Bobsled Challenge I was talking about, Boris was undefeated in the first couple of those until Todd Bodine pretty much dethroned him. Interesting story about this car here. I talked to Boris said and one of the co-owners on this car, Frankie, started this morning. Of course, Frankie's from the Northeast. And Boris and Frankie said, you know what? We did not have near enough money to come down here and even attempt to qualify for the Daytona 500. If you see that U.S. Chrome, there's a gentleman by the name of Bob Reith that's up in New England. And he was involved with Frankie Stoddard over 20 years ago on a cup car with Dana Patton. Well, Frankie said, you know what? I'm going to call Bob and see if he will help us. And Bob Reith stepped up and gave those guys enough money to come down here and try to qualify for the Daytona 500.
Well, let me tell you, They might have a little chrome it. If it won't run, chrome it, but this thing's running, I'm telling you.
Well, and not surprised, because as we know, Frankie Stoddard, Boris said, they've always been pretty quick down here with this car.
That's a pretty sporty first lap right there, bud.
Nice to hear those racers from New Hampshire stick together. That's a good story.
Yeah, he's flirting with the top 20 qualifying run here. You can see right there on the ticker.
Now, the bubble to lock in is 48.04. Tony Stewart, who right now is 10th. So even with this speed, Boris said is still going to have to race his way in, most likely on Thursday. But if one of those top 3 races their way in, that would elevate Said into the 500.
Yeah, he's going to be the 4th quickest of that group of cars. He ends up 18th quickest. I will guarantee you, though, they will rest a little easier for the next few nights.
That's a nice speed right there.
Chrome it.
If it won't run, chrome it.
It ran.
I had a lot of chrome in my time.
Martin Truex Jr. and Mark Martin. It's the Martin and Martin front row for the Daytona 500.
I'm taking Martin for the front row.
7 drivers left to qualify, 8 including Derek Cope, who is on the track right now in the Blue Frog Dodge. The 1990 winner of the Daytona 500. He and Buddy Parrott put together a combination that had Cope take the white flag in 2nd place. And when Dale Earnhardt swerved to break the draft in the back straightaway and ran over a piece of something that cut a tire, it was Cope, the surprise winner of the 500.
And he went not too many weeks after that and won the race at Dover.
Sure did.
For his 2 victories.
That's Bob Whitcomb's team, wasn't it?
That's correct. Another car owner from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Bob Whitcomb. Yeah. Cope is in at 49.44, 46th overall, a 50-year-old driver from Spanaway, Washington. Aerial coverage today brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. So right now, the 3 lock-in drivers from those who must make the race on time are Bill Elliott, Travis Kvapil, and Tony Stewart. Boris Said is 1 spot away, hoping that one of those 3 races their way in on Thursday to a better qualifying position. That would open up a spot for drivers like Said, Brad Keselowski, Jeremy Mayfield, and Kurt Shelmerdine. This will be Regan Smith, who had a strong rookie season, but now finds himself with the contraction or merger of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated and Ganassi Racing, found himself on the outside looking in, and he's hooked up with the Furniture Row folks for this season.
I haven't done any research, but I just want to say real quickly, I believe there might be more 50-somethings in this lineup for these 2 duels on Thursday than has been for quite some time.
Bill Sloboda did the math. The average age of the field is 36. There are 8 drivers age 50 or older, as opposed to 18 in their teens and 20s. So yeah, 8 drivers 50 or older.
Yeah.
You know, back to Regan Smith, you know what made his season impressive last year? I mean, he did win the 2008 Robestas Rookie of the Year, but he made qualified, ran all 36 races with no DNFs for a rookie. That's pretty impressive.
I tell you, the job he did at Talladega, that was pretty impressive.
Yes, it was.
And it could have flipped. You could flip a coin. It could have gone either way as far as whether he should or shouldn't have been the winner.
Well, he and we had that discussion with the NASCAR brass over this winter, and Regan did go below the yellow line, and whether you drive down there or are forced there, you cannot advance your position below the yellow line, and Smith was not flagged as the winner at Talladega.
Well, the other part of that, okay, I'll buy that. Yep. I'll buy that. But he should have been second. He shouldn't have been 18th or whatever it was.
Take a look here at our tracker, because what's significant about this is he looks like he's going to be a little faster than Boris Said, which would put him the 4th quickest of our guys that have to race their way in. He will be 14th indeed. Great run for Regan Smith. Not locked in by no means of imagination, but the fact is, I think they can rest a little bit now.
Boris Said's hair just stood up again.
And Smith has a good chance to be in the 500. More to come.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by FedEx Racing. We understand. Every day is race day. By State Farm, where great coverage meets great rates. And by Subway, home of the famous always made fresh $5 footlong. Subway, eat fresh.
7 drivers to go, including Joe Nemechek, native of Lakeland, Florida, now lives up on Lake Norman in North Carolina. He drove for Furniture Row last year and now brings his own team to Daytona to try to put this Toyota in the field, and right now he's looking to be the 5th fastest of the drivers who must race their way in.
He just looks like he might beat Boris Said, and he will, right in front of Boris Said at a 48.17. That puts him, though, the 5th quickest of our guys that will have to race their way in.
And you know, you'd say, okay, well, these guys are in full-blown qualifying trim, but everybody is today.
Yeah.
And so that was, you got to say, that is a great run. Joe didn't even have that car a month ago. So he's thrown that car together and come down here and is able to qualify in the top 20. It's a great effort.
Last year with Furniture Row, Nemechek qualified 3rd fastest for the 500 and got in the race on time.
There's our boys.
Hey, men's.
Steve, Andy, and Nelson, our cameramen, and waving 2 hands is Kevin Clark, our chief spotter.
Looks like Batman or something.
That's up on the roof.
That's some guys that'll get a little bit of a break between now and Wednesday. A well-deserved break, I might add.
Nelson Hastings shot his 2 millionth lap from up on the roof there, our lead cameraman. And here comes A.J. Allmendinger in the Valvoline Dodge from Richard Petty Motorsports. The paint job on this car recalls the Dodge Magnum that Kyle Petty brought here as an 18-year-old in 1979 and won the ARCA 200. His very first stock car race of any kind was here at Daytona, and he won it.
And I'm going to tell you what, this kid did a great job last night in that Budweiser shootout. Nice and solid all night long. Ended up finishing 5th in this car.
Well, you know, we worked with him a little bit a year and a half ago when he drove the trucks. And when he first got in that truck, he couldn't even tell you if it was pushing, if it was loose, if they would try to pry information out of him. He didn't have a clue. And when Mike Skinner went over and got in that Red Bull car and worked with that kid and got that car driving like it needed to, and he got back in it, it was like a light switch was flipped. And he's been on it ever since, and he has just gotten better and better.
Now, this car, this team had expected to be in the top 35 and locked in, but with all of the mergers, acquisitions, and alliances submitted to NASCAR for approval in the final 3 days before the cars unloaded here at Daytona, they ended up out of the top 35 and having to race their way in.
Now, were you telling me, Larry, or was somebody telling me that he owns one of the dogs that was in the movie Marley?
Yeah, he and his wife Lynn owns a dog named Misty, and it was one of the many dogs that played the lead role in Marley and Me, a movie that came out back in December.
Well, I saw Misty down in the garage or in the motor coach lot this morning, and looked exactly like Marley.
That's good.
At which age?
Allmendinger's first lap 48.90.
Yeah, this is not going to be what they were hoping for. This team had to qualify or race their way in last year, and they're going to have to roll their work sleeves up on Thursday.
Yep. And they are 7th on the list of drivers who must make the race on speed or in their qualifying race. King Richard Petty looking on as Allmendinger completes his run. 4 drivers to go.
Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. Moving forward.
4 cars to go in Daytona 500 pole qualifying. This is 57-year-old Norm Benning from Level Green, Pennsylvania, who yesterday here at Daytona finished 10th in the multi-car crash fest, also known as the ARCA 200. They had 7 multiple car pileups. Norm missed them all. Got a top 10 finish. He's in it. 50-73.
It's almost as bad as that Bud shootout last night. That was a pretty big crash fest too, you know.
Except in the ARCA race, the hits just kept on coming.
No,
10 seconds after the caution, somebody else. I'll be there in a minute.
Well, they would have had more multi-car wrecks, but they ran out of cars.
There's the fastest driver in Daytona so far, Martin Truex Jr. Now there are 3 cars to go, and there is one driver who will not get to make a qualifying pass. James Harvey Hilton, who came down here in his 70s for one more try at Daytona. But try as they would to get that car on the racetrack to practice, it would not fire. And unless you practice at minimum speed, you're not allowed to qualify for the Daytona 500. So Hilton had to load up and head home.
Well, that made the average age much younger of the starting
because
field.
what's James, 72?
74.
74.
Yeah.
But you know, when I look at drivers like Norm Bennon, as we watch Tony Raines go out to make his qualifying attempt, it's the great thing about NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing. Certainly NASCAR has a criteria that they're going to make you meet before you can compete here at Daytona International Speedway. But you know what? Norm knows it's going to be a stretch to make the Daytona 500, but you know what? He'll get to run a race on Thursday at Daytona. That's the great thing about this sport.
And he has run 4 Cup races in his career. Thursday, you never know. Even the longest shot has a chance to make the big dance.
What did Kevin Harvick say last night? Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you never give up right there.
That's right. Tony Raines from LaPorte, Indiana. In the Long John Silvers. Number 37 Dodge.
Hey, before I forget about it, I want to say hi. I don't, she may or may not be watching. Martha Earnhardt, I think she broke her leg. I believe she fell and broke her leg, and I want to just wish her well and hope she's getting around okay and feeling all right. Been thinking about her.
Dale Sr.'s mom.
Dale Sr.'s mom, yeah.
She and Jeff Gordon's mom have come out with a cookbook.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It is. There are a few anecdotes in there that they add about, the boys and things that they liked and didn't like.
47th quickest for Raines on his first lap. I know drivers have to do a lot of appearances during race week, and some are a little more different than others. I think Jeff Gordon and his mom are going on Rachel Ray and going to cook up a storm on Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun. That's I like that kind of stuff.
It's kind of neat.
But in the day of all the soft drink battles, Dale Sr.'s favorite cake was the Sundrop cake, and he loved Sundrop cake, and that's one of the recipes in the book, which I saw and I kind of liked it.
We'll see if Jimbo can whip one up for you.
Jimbo's down there now working on his cooking skills.
Tony Raines is 48th with a 48.88.
Hired Jimbo to drive the coach, and he's a great coach driver. Not a soul has come up and say you got a good coach driver. All of them come up and say, can he cook? Because Smitty, has been the chief cook and bottle washer down there for quite some time.
Now what's happening here, even though we still have 2 cars left to go, Carl Long and Scott Riggs, they are poising the 1 car and the 5 car to possibly go to victory lane for snapshots, photos of what would be, again, not certainly to count those last 2 drivers out, but what would be the front row for the Daytona 500. And I was fortunate enough to sit on the front row a couple of times. In 95, we sat on the pole with Dale Jarrett. 96, outside of the front row with Ernie Irvin. The great thing about it is it's a pole you get to treasure for a full week, because the Daytona 500 is a week away. Normally you qualify on Friday afternoon, you race on Saturday night or Sunday. You don't get to enjoy it that long.
Let's check in downstairs with Western County.
Felix Sabates there with Kevin Mannion.
That's right, he's now a part owner in that car. It's now Earnhardt Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates. Carl Long is from Roxborough, North Carolina. Journeyman driver with this number 46, the Romeo Guest Construction Dodge. Last year he timed in 53rd quickest, did not make the 500. In fact, he's trying to make his first Daytona Sprint Cup race.
Carl helped me get into a race at Charlotte back in 2000. He had made the race and we didn't. And Travis Carter made a deal with him for me to drive his car. And Travis is still paying him back, because I saw Carl Friday and I said, so how's it going? He said, well, I went and borrowed a trailer and a tractor and tools and everything from Travis so I could come down there and run this weekend.
So what was that called back in the day then when you did that with Carl?
Was that an alliance or a What was that? Collaboration?
That probably would be a partnership.
Very good.
We did a partnership.
I think it was simply called "Let's Get Daryl in That Race."
That's exactly what it was.
Well, with the economy and with the number of single car teams here and expected to run many of these races, this may be the year of the independent driver. And there may be plenty of opportunities for fellows like Carl Long to get into some of these races and show how well they can run.
Well, remember when Kurt Chamberlain, we were talking about this, he was in the race. I mean, qualified and he got his car in the race. He had no sponsor. And there were people running up and down pit road trying to figure out how to get him out of the car, somebody else in the car, and put somebody's name on the car. So he was sitting there in great negotiating place where, you know, he could race and make some money, or he could actually sell his spot.
And make more money.
And make more money. He chose to race, by the way. Carl chose to take the money.
But that's right. Kurt turned down a lot of money to give up the seat and let a better known driver who did not make the show run the 500.
Kurt said, look, I've been waiting for this for a long time. I'm not going to, I'm not interested in selling it off.
53rd for Carl Long, 49.71. And there's one driver to go. Today's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Now get over 130 of your favorite channels in high definition from DirecTV.
Just real quickly on Carl again, though, you know, he works in shops. He works on other people's cars, works on other people's teams. He does whatever he has to do to be able to get enough funds to be able to come down here and try to make the 500.
He has as much passion for this sport as any of us or anyone else in the garage, or this fella, Tommy Baldwin, who 33 days ago said, we're going racing, we're going to Daytona, we're going to try to make the 500.
And you know what? That shot right there of Tommy Baldwin, that pretty much said it all. Yeah, he has leaned on that generator box with those stopwatches for years as a crew chief. Now he's doing it as an owner. Steve Burns has been following Tommy Baldwin and Scott Riggs through most of this qualifying session. Tommy Baldwin and Beth Baldwin, they have put everything they own into this race team, and it all starts right here, trying to run a fast enough lap in qualifying to qualify for this Daytona 500.
He got a little bit of experience. Like, didn't he own his own nationwide team?
He did. He did. But I don't think it was